a.m. The extent of the damage is not yet known. The Prime Minister is just hours away from touching down in Washington, D.C. ahead of high-stakes talks with US President Donald Trump. Lauren Tomasi reports from the White House.
Trade, tariffs and the AUKUS nuclear submarine pact are high on the agenda for Anthony Albanese's long-awaited talks with Donald Trump. The Prime Minister will sit down with the US President in the Oval Office at 11 a.m. local time, where the cameras will be rolling for a meeting 10 months in the making. This isn't Anthony Albanese's first visit to the White House. He attended a state visit in 2023, but it is his first sit-down with Donald Trump, a president who likes to put on a show.
The federal government is releasing its draft legislation prohibiting price gouging by the major supermarkets. Australians will be able to have their say on the reforms following an inquiry into the grocery giants. Assistant Treasurer Andrew Lee says it's a key reform.
The new law will safeguard consumers against the risk that major supermarkets charge excessive prices, which there's a risk that they'll do given how much market power they have.
Psychiatrists have sounded the alarm regarding overdiagnosis and misdiagnosis of ADHD in adults. They're calling out expensive private clinics and social media for spiralling rates in the condition. Cases have more than doubled in adults from 2013 to 2020. The Israeli Defence Force and Hamas are accusing each other of breaching the ceasefire agreement. The IDF launched a series of strikes in Gaza and is halting aid into the enclave in response to the death of 2 soldiers. And a piece of suspected space junk has crashed in outback WA. The mysterious item coming down at a mine site in the Pilbara. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Outlander, Pajero Sport and new Triton. T's and C's apply.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Australia has beaten India by 7 wickets in a rain-affected ODI series opener in Perth. The Aussies reached their target of 131 with 29 balls remaining. Captain Mitch Marsh continued his strong form, top scoring with an unbeaten 46. Josh Hazlewood, Matt Kuhneman and Mitch Owen each took 2 wickets. South Australia will take on Queensland in a one-dayer today at home, while there was one game in the Women's ODI World Cup overnight. England beating the hosts India by 4 runs in a thriller. To soccer, and Manchester United has inflicted more pain on Liverpool with a dramatic 2-1 win at Anfield. Defender Harry Maguire with the winner in the 84th minute.
Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire! It's another Harry Maguire header! And Manchester United prize the lead back at Anfield again!
Yeah, amazing scenes. Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. The loss is Liverpool's 4th in a row in all competition. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecasts.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
A shower or 2 and 24 today, showers and a storm developing 27 tomorrow. Wednesday, a possible early storm, showers and 19. Thursday, a top of 20. Right now, it is 16 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Speaking mechanic to mechanic, we all know that when you're looking to load up your rig or to do some off-road exploring, the right suspension is crucial. It dictates how much weight you can carry, what you can tow, and how safe and comfortable your ride will be. At Terrain Tamer, our range of GVM upgrades, parabolic springs, smart coils and fortified shock absorbers will get you there and home again without a hitch. To find out more, go to terraintamer.com.
Get ready, Adelaide. The 4-Wheel Drive and Adventure Show is on, and TJM is bringing the heat. Score 20% off bull bars, suspensions, snorkels, plus the entire TJM protection range. Minimum 20% off TJM camp gear, plus freebies on swags and rooftop tents. Specials on GME radios and Rhino rack, and free light bars with every Rhino platform. Mirrors, long-range tanks, HSP roll covers, and exclusive American truck deals. Only at TJM, this weekend only at the Wayville Showgrounds, Stand W8.
When life hits the fan, clean it up with a new Cashies loan. Get up to $5,000. Redraw whenever you need without reapplying. Plus, there's no upfront fees, no monthly account keeping fees, and no shouldn't be a fees. New Cashies loan. Be more life-proof. Apply in-store or at cashconverters.com.au.
T's and C's credit checks, fees and charges apply. See website for TMDs. Australian Credit Licence 391436.
Generic brand cleaning services. press 1 if you'd like to stay on hold for another 30 minutes. Or if you'd like to scream into the handset, press 2.
At Servicing SA Cleaning and Facility Solutions, you speak to real South Aussies about cleaning your retail, commercial or community property. The interstaters might promise the world, but will they show up when the bins overflow on Friday? Affordable, reliable and 100% local. That's Servicing SA. Go to servicingsa.com.au.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong, at home. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there's no place like home. Let us help you stay where your heart is. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
There's surprising.
Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Monday on 5AA Breakfast. Would you believe it's the 20th of October? Yeah. And would you believe the Prime Minister's finally got a meeting with Donald Trump? He's on his way there now. We're going to be talking about it with Bruce Walpy from the United States Study Centre very shortly. He's the author also of Trump's Australia. This is going to be a fascinating chat about what awaits the Prime Minister when he arrives at the Oval Office. Also coming up on the program this morning, we're chatting with the president of the Parry Hills Football Club, who've been broken into 3 times in the past 8 weeks. That's coming up. Speaking of break-ins, the Louvre has been broken into in Paris. This is a heist that sounds like something out of a Hollywood film. People scaling to the second floor, cutting through a window, taking prized jewels and escaping on scooters in Paris, France. We'll be crossing to the scene after 7 o'clock today. Also, lots to talk about when it came to the March for Australia rallies around the country over the weekend, most notably in Victoria, where we're counter-protesters, we should say. Victorian police were at pains to make this point too, turned violent. That violence aimed at police. And also, we've head further abroad because the Lord Mayor, Jane Lammick-Smith's going to join us, one of 3 mayors off to Brazil to talk climate change. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Kudos to the Lord Mayor for coming on our show. I was just saying to Will off air, though, I would hazard a guess that the percentage of 5AA listeners who are saying, well, that's nice that she and 2 other mayors are flying at ratepayers' expense to Rio de Janeiro to talk about climate change. What percentage of 5AA listeners think that's a really good idea? Is it even 1%?
I think, yeah, it tops out at 1%, I think.
I think it's, when you see in maths the triangle for less than?
Yes.
I think it's less than 1%.
I think that's, the margin of error is 1%, and we think at maximum it's 1%.
I don't know, mate. If anyone thinks it's a great idea, you know the number, you know the text line, but
I reckon there will be plenty of people that go, no, good, but the government should be doing more to tackle the climate crisis. And I reckon there'll be plenty of people who might think all that stuff that would go, but local government.
Well, I mean, people might say, they do parks and green space and water use.
Well, they mow it. You know what I mean? Which I'm not going to I'm not going to diminish.
But it isn't the bigger question.
It's an important thing.
If the Lord Mayor's listening, good morning, and you can treat this as a bit of a heads up. But isn't there one key question that needs to be asked? Given that the COP is probably even coming to Adelaide, why don't they just wait for it to arrive rather than flying off to their own one in Brazil? It's going to be here next year, isn't it? What's the carbon footprint of flying over there to see the mini COP? And why don't we get a COP? Everyone should get their own COP.
Local COPs.
Well, there's a local government COP, and then there's the big serious state/federal COP next year. Where's Juno COP in Rio? Or in, Puerto Escondido or somewhere called Cancun.
What are journalists doing to fight the climate crisis?
What are we doing, Will?
Well,
we haven't even... I don't think you and I have ever discussed what we do. What is our carbon footprint in here? These bloody lights.
Well, high. Hot air expelled. High.
I mean, I travel pretty light. All I use is a biro. I don't use a computer. I've got one on my phone, I guess. Is that a thing?
I think you've been doing your part.
I tread lightly on Mother Earth.
822 is our number. You can text us on the Police Home Care text line. This morning, we have a Kent Town hotel voucher, $100 Kent Town hotel voucher to give away. Poor old Ange Postecoglou over the weekend. His second stint in the Premier League, significantly shorter and less successful than his first. Sacked after 39 days. 39 days he got. And they said, Evangelos Marinakis, the owner of Nottingham Forest, went, we've made a horrible mistake. We would ask you this morning for the Kent Town hotel voucher. Have you ever had a job that's lasted for less than 39 days? Have you ever been sacked quicker than Ange Postecoglou? Or did you walk away quicker than Ange Postecoglou, maybe? Let us know, and you could win yourself a $100 Kent Town hotel voucher. 39 days is it's not even a month. It's just over a month.
I'll check this out. I'm not sure if this is an urban myth or if it's true, but I do remember reading it years ago. I don't know if it was Bolivia or Paraguay. Apparently there's a country in South America that had 3 presidents for life in one day. True. So apparently, there's a president for life. He died. And then this other guy said, I'm now president for life. And this other bloke walked in and shot him and said, no, you're not. I am. So that's you get 3 in one day.
Yeah, that's dramatic.
Yeah.
It doesn't really live up to the moniker president for life either, does it? Well, no, actually, maybe it quite literally does.
How long did Liz Truss last? Who lasted longer, Liz Truss or Ange Postecoglou?
Liz Truss lasted longer. I only know that because plenty of our pommy mates have been making that joke. I'll double check. I've seen people make the joke.
I know a guy who lasted one day as chief of staff of the Daily Telegraph.
What happened?
He got sacked.
Yeah, but do you remember what the offence was?
He's a lovely guy. He had a terrible stutter. And he had to go in and present the news list. And he's a nervous wreck of a bloke. And this is when this tyrannical lunatic called Kyle Allen was the editor-in-chief. And this poor guy, I'll say his name was Horsey's in there, papers shaking, trying to read the news list to the editor, say, we've got this for tomorrow. And the end of the day, Cole called him in and said, Horsey, I've been reflecting on your performance today, and I've come to the conclusion that one of us has to go, and it's not going to be me. he got punted.
Wow.
One day's cause.
One nervous
he didn't get sacked. He just went back to,
resumed his base duties.
That's right.
Liz Truss lasted 49 days. Kevin Glen Osmond's called in on 822 on the Lord Mayor's trip to Brazil. Morning, Kev.
Good morning, gents. How are you?
Good, thanks, Kev.
Good one. Great. First-time caller, long-time listener. Love your intelligence show, so thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate.
I'm one of the 1% that does agree with the Lord Mayor going over. I suppose there's 2 parts to it. The mere fact that she's flying the flag for us in preparation for next year is fantastic. I use the analogy, it's like surfing. You don't wait for the wave to come and jump on the wave and hope that it carries you. You've got to prepare before it and catch the wave. So I can use that analogy. I think it's great that they're going over in preparation for it. That makes some sense?
Yeah, fair enough. Good on you, Kev.
Good on you. We love hearing from the 1%. 822 You can text us on 0448 08 13 95. Diversity of opinion is what it's all about. Let's go to Torrensville. Reno, have you ever had a job or know anyone who's had a job that lasted for less than 39 days?
Well, good morning, boys. Yeah, yours truly.
What happened?
I was 17 at the time, and I thought I'd be a good job at Ayers House Restaurant, fine dining.
Okay.
And I'm there, nah, I'm out of here. After one day that I served that place, I'm gone. And you know the history of what I do, what my children do.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm not into fine dining.
Too la-di-da.
I walked out and never turned back.
Yeah, good on you, Reno.
Fair enough, Reno. 822
It was Mexico, 1913. So during the revolution, Francisco Madero was president in the morning. Then there was a coup. Him and his vice president were assassinated.
Oh, so Mexico, not Brazil, Mexico.
It was Mexico. Then Pedro Lascuran, he was president for half an hour till he was assassinated by Jose Victoriano Huerta Marquez.
It's got to be a better line of work to be in Mexico than politics, doesn't there?
That was a bad period, 1910 to 1917.
16 after 6, we're going to take a break. In a moment, the Prime Minister finally on his way to that meeting with Donald Trump. It's happening this week. What will meet him in the White House? We'll talk about that next.
The Kia Tasman reviews from car expert are in.
This is genuinely impressive. I wasn't expecting this.
But don't believe the experts? Test drive a Tasman today. Tasman, the best you've never driven.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
If you're in South Australia, you can get $200 off when you take out a new NRMA Home Buildings Insurance policy with promo code 200HOME. Because that's what a help company would do. Visit nrma.com.au/SA offer or call 132 132 to redeem today. Offer ends January 9th, 2026. Excludes renewing policies. South Australia risk addresses only. Full offer T's and C's online. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance.
The Phil Hoffman Travel Expo is back this Sunday. It's the biggest and best travel event in Adelaide, hosted by Adelaide, with over 60 worldwide tour operators, cruise lines, airlines and travel experts. Enjoy inspiring travel talks, early bird discounts, one-day-only deals, booking bonuses, including a glass of bubbles. Plus, win one of 5 incredible holiday prizes. The Phil Hoffman Travel Expo this Sunday at the Adelaide Convention Centre. Entry is free. Register at pht.com.au.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motor Pass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork. Just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motor Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
Is stress clouding your mind, making it hard to focus? Caruso's Ashwagandha plus L-theanine to the rescue. Caruso's Ashwagandha plus L-theanine is a great combination to relieve stress, calm the mind and support mental clarity, concentration and focus. And it works fast, calming the mind in just 3 hours without drowsiness. So if you're fed up with feeling stressed and unable to concentrate, try Caruso's Ashwagandha plus L-theanine today. Now available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Some things need an emergency department, but if you're umming and ahhing on what to do, it might be more of an emergency. If you're unwell and unsure what to do, call Health Direct on 1800 022 222 and a registered nurse will help you find the best care for you. A message from the Government of South Australia.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Good morning, gents. First time caller, long time listener.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 6, first-time caller, long-time listener. It feels like the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has been spending a long time calling Donald Trump, but will be a first-time visitor in the next 24 hours. We will have all that as it develops over the course of tomorrow morning's program. Today, it's the anticipation, the build-up. What's going to happen? What kind of receptions are you going to get? Well, for that, we have invited Bruce Wolpe onto the program from the United States Studies Centre. Also the author of the book, Trump's Australia. Bruce, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Your best instinct about what kind of reception Anthony Albanese is going to get in the White House? What do you imagine is going to happen?
It should be good. I mean, they've had 4 phone calls, and each time Trump says he's a good man. He likes winners, no matter where they come from. If they win emphatically, he kind of respects that. Secondly, there was just that instant moment. I mean, Trump doesn't hide his emotions very well, right? So when he sees Albanese in New York at the UN, and he lights up a smile, comes over for a selfie, and so that says a lot to me. That instinctively he's happy to be with him. So it should be okay, but you never know on the day exactly what's going on, and there are pressures everywhere from China to Ukraine to Gaza and everything, and the government is shut down. Congress hasn't approved supply. But I think a lot of work has been done to get the agenda fixed, get the issues fixed, and have these two men just talk. I mean, it is an alliance. It's pretty strong. It goes deep inside the U.S. government, no less than the Australian government. And so I think it's going to be okay.
What do you think the flashpoints are potentially, Bruce? I mean, you mentioned some of the other big international issues that are overshadowing things. I suppose on Gaza they have very different policies vis-a-vis Israel.
Yeah, but everyone came together on Gaza. Everyone was at that meeting. I mean, Macron in France and Starmer in the UK also recognized Palestine. Those relationships are okay. I mean, I think what's really going. I think 3 big issues going to be. There's China. What are we going to do about China? Defense spending, and that's related to it. And Trump you still see what he does with NATO and defense spending and the allies. Are they spending enough? I think he's going to press there, and then tariffs and trade. So I think those are, and then something that Australia can not give the United States, but sell the United States and help the United States, since it really is in a very tough position because China has cut off critical minerals. Australia says, we have them. Let's work it. Let's do a deal. Yeah. So I think that's something on the Australia side.
Would you imagine that we're going to hear anything about AUKUS, Bruce, or does the White House?
I meant to say AUKUS. I choked on it when I was talking to you. Yes, there's going to be AUKUS, and we haven't had a firm word from the president as to where he stands on it. And I think Albanese wants that. If Australia is going to keep paying billions of dollars and working towards the technology and the submarines and the deployments and the shipbuilding and all that, I think he wants to hear from the president that he's behind it too. Everyone else seems to be. So let's see.
Yeah. What gift would Donald Trump like from Australia, do you think, Bruce? He's not a drinker, so he wouldn't want a bottle of Penfolds.
I think a golden golf ball and a golden tee inside a crystal. I think that's the only way to go. It look right there on the mantle with the gold and the fireplace. Why not? I think a big gold golf ball.
From Adelaide with Live Golf.
They haven't asked for my opinion. I haven't been able to email that one in.
We'll pay that. That's good. Good on you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bruce Walpy, the Senior Fellow at the United States Studies Centre and author of the book Trump's Australia. Will it all become clear in the next 24 hours? Tomorrow morning on the show, we imagine we'll have some detail to bring you. If not, some quite potentially we might be able to just talk to audio the entire morning.
Yeah.
You just never know what it's going to be like.
Hey, Simon, great text. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see the text, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't have access this morning. Let's go to Firle. There's been a shop fire. Hayden Nelson reporting for 7 News and Sunrise. Hayden, good morning to you.
Morning, Dave. Morning, Will.
So what's happened?
So this broke out at about 3 o'clock this morning. There were flame shooting from the shop front here on Glenbourne Road at Tripodi's Plaza. So that's home to an Aussie Home Loans, a fish market, which is currently vacant, and also La Savola restaurant, which has been here for about a year, a pretty popular Italian restaurant. Fire crews were quickly on scene, and they managed to put out the flames, which had spread to the ceiling of the restaurant, of this building, tackling the spot fires. But fortunately, the two owners of the La Savola restaurant, they're young guys, Dan and Christian, they've been here this morning, left to pick up the pieces, really. At this stage, we don't know how the fire started. There are fire investigators inside that have been going through under torchlight, trying to find out what the cause of this is. But unlike other shop fires we've seen recently, it doesn't look like this one is suspicious, although they're still working that out. But Dan and Christian, I spoke to them earlier. They're young guys. They're actually working a couple of jobs each to help sustain this business. But it has been really popular. Their beef ragu gnocchi is really popular, apparently. So they're quite devastated to lose all their equipment. They said they had 3 tons of firewood for the wood-fired pizzas in the back, so it's lucky the fire didn't spread to that. And actually, Dan Will works with your brother, Sam, in his second job to keep this going. So they really are young business owners. They say they're insured. So a lot of the property that's been lost, a lot of that equipment that has been lost is hopefully something they can recover. But at this stage, they're going to be closed for at least a few weeks, maybe a few months, as they try and pick up the pieces and get it all back together. But certainly devastating for them to have to see this morning, to see some pretty high flames shooting from this plaza.
Yeah, that's awful. Geez, why would you go into small business?
At the moment,
I say that because I just don't have a stomach for it, but I'm glad people do because it keeps the economy ticking over. But crikey, it can be heartbreaking, can't it?
What about Saturday on Henley Beach Road, Saray?
Well, we're going to be talking about that after 7 o'clock today. That's a different story, though.
Poor old Corinthian, though, we're in the thick of it. They're a wholly reputable and respected legal business. Beautiful Greek butcher. They're on Henley Beach Road. How did they get dragged in all this a couple of weeks ago?
Top of 24 to up to 4 mils of rain. How about tomorrow's forecast? 27 showers, storm, 6 millimetres to 30 millimetres of rain. You don't get too many 30 millimetres of rain forecast in Adelaide. Wednesday, potentially showers too early, so it will probably be whatever doesn't happen on Tuesday, up to 9 millimetres of rain on Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll chat with the Bureau very shortly. Tom Wren in the 5AA Breakfast Studio. And Agostina Mitsubishi get $2,500 cash on Eclipse Cross, the plug-in hybrids. T's and C's apply. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, Will. Morning, David. Fellas, winners and losers from the weekend. We'll start with the losers because it was the biggest story, I think, over the weekend. 39 days. Ange Postecoglou's gone.
Poor bloke.
Yeah, I think probably not that surprising in hindsight. I think the owner's gone through something like 32 managers in his time. He's as volatile as they get, which makes it a bit of a strange choice in hindsight from Ange, and we shouldn't be that surprised. That said, that's ridiculous. 39 days, 8 games. You can't do anything in that time.
Point so you're the manager. You sacked 32 coaches. You're the owner. He's the owner. So he sacked 32 managers to get the terminology right. Has it ever dawned on this guy that maybe he's part of the problem?
Well, exactly. I think he's got that much money. Yeah. He does not care. He's like, unless I'm getting what I want, I'm just going to keep on rotating.
Pay him out.
£7
million, I think, for Ange.
It's not bad for, 6 weeks' work?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
£7 million?
Yeah. So he can go back to, wherever he wants to go, his holiday home, and buy another one.
Whatever the hell he wants to do.
So, yeah, look, wild scenes. Other winners and losers. Manchester United overnight beat Liverpool. So Liverpool losers. They've lost 4 games in a row now, which is amazing. Bryce Cotton is a winner. He scored 53 points, record for the Sixers. They're 10-minute quarters, remember?
Yeah.
They're not 12 minutes like they play in the NBA. Racing's getting exciting. Keying Rising and Half Yours, Caulfield Cup and the Everest. They are the 2 favourites. They are the 2 winners, and they're a class above. Shohei Ohtani, I'm not sure if you saw this. Someone described it to me as his performance in a playoff game. He had 3 home runs and then, I think, 10 strikeouts as a pitcher.
Mate, he shouldn't exist.
So it's like winning Augusta and the golf and then caddying for the bloke that comes second. He's that good. He's just... It's stupid. So he's a big winner. Adelaide United, I was really impressed with that. I thought they played well Friday night in their season opener, so that's good.
I can't believe they won.
I know. Great start.
I would have thought they were short price favourites for the Spoon this year.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the conversation.
I reckon they'll be all right whilst they've got their full squad.
Yes.
Like once it starts to get to Christmas time and you need your depth, I reckon that's where they could be found out. I hope I'm wrong. But I reckon depth might be an issue. Aussie cricketers, they won overnight. That's a good result. North Melbourne women, 22 or 23 in a row. Port women won at home against Hawthorn, which was a big upset, so well done. Unfortunately, though, the Crows women lost, which was disappointing.
Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or 2 and 24 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Keep in shape with physio-instructed clinical Pilates and gym classes at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
A gang of thieves have broken into the Louvre, stealing priceless jewellery. Jessica Millward is in Paris.
This was a remarkable heist, the details of which read like the plot of a Hollywood movie. The Louvre had just opened when 2 masked people used a basket lift on the back of a truck to ascend to a window. The glass was cut. The thieves entered the Apollo Gallery and grabbed precious jewels. 2 more people were waiting on scooters and the gang took off. Priceless pieces of jewellery were taken from the 19th century collection of Napoleon and Empress Eugenie. A crown was found dropped and damaged nearby. Those responsible for the brazen heist now among the world's most wanted.
An Italian restaurant at FIVEAA has been damaged in an early morning fire. Crews were called to a block of shops housing La Tavola around 2 a.m. Hayden Nelson from 7 News says the cause is yet to be determined.
At this stage, we don't know how the fire started. There are fire investigators inside that have been going through under torchlight trying to find out what the cause of this is. Unlike other shop fires we've seen recently, it doesn't look like this one is suspicious, although they're still working that out.
Anthony Albanese is on his way to Washington, D.C. ahead of his much-anticipated meeting with US President Donald Trump. Tariffs, AUKUS and critical minerals are expected to be high on the agenda. Director of Research at the United States Study Centre, Jared Monshine, says the US is seeking to develop a mineral supply chain that doesn't involve China.
It's been very clear now that China will use its leverage of being one of the sole providers of critical minerals, one of the sole processors of critical minerals, to its strategic advantage.
Work-related musculoskeletal disorders are costing the economy more than $55 billion annually. More than 90% of female desk workers suffer the injuries compared to 76% of men. The Australian Chiropractors Association's Dr David Cale says employers need to introduce interventions to minimise the risk.
It's all about reducing stress, minimising the chance of injury. Look at how often you're taking breaks, how your workplace is set up. And also, chiropractors have always focused on having good spinal health so that you're more robust when you come to work.
Anthony Toop's funeral will be held at Prince Alfred College this morning. He lost his battle with cancer earlier this month, aged 68. The service for the man behind Toop and Toop Real Estate has a dress code of best non-funeral attire. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Eclipse Cross PHEV. T's and C's apply.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Aussie Oscar Piastri is working hard to get up the placings in the American Formula One Grand Prix, which is being held in Texas. Starting from 6th, he's currently up to 4th, just after the halfway point of the race. His teammate Lando Norris is 2nd, while the red-hot Max Verstappen is the overall leader. Let's get to cricket. Australia's won its opening one-dayer against India in a rain-affected match in Perth. Chasing 132 from 20 overs, the Aussies chased it down with 29 balls to spare. Spinner Matt Kuhneman took 2 wickets and says it was a great effort from all the bowlers, especially the quicks.
I think it's probably a bit more frustrating for the big quicks because they were in a good rhythm and bowling fast and getting the ball to nip and swing and everything. So, the way they bowled up front was beautiful, and then to come back out after a couple of rain breaks was really impressive.
The A-League season's underway and Brisbane's the only side to win without conceding a goal. The Roar kicked off their campaign with a 1-0 win over Macarthur on Friday night. Adelaide United a 1-0 win at home against Sydney FC 2-1. And in the EPL, Manchester United's beaten Liverpool at Anfield for the first time since 2016, taking that one 2-1. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
A top of 24 for your Monday with a shower or two. Showers and a storm developing tomorrow, 27. Wednesday, a possible early storm, showers 19. And Thursday, 20. Right now, it's 17 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 to 7, been talking about the shortest time you've been in a job. Either you've been sacked or walked away. Ange Postecoglou, 39 days as the manager of Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League. Someone on the police home care text line said this.
I was just a person out there making sure that I was... I'm buggered. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I have to resign. I can't.
So Mel Meninga is leaving the studio.
That was Mel Meninga, whose political career lasted about 2 minutes into an ABC interview. It was an ABC interview, I think. And
yeah, it was. He was running for the ACT Legislative Assembly. So
that's right.
It was on the radio station with the world's strangest call sign, Radio 666, ABC Canberra. And the reporter seemed totally nonplussed. He was like, what's happening?
Out he goes.
Crazy.
Rosie, what was the shortest job you've had?
Half a day.
What happened?
I went to Scotland in the 80s and I did my senior schooling there, and I really wanted to come back to Australia, and my plan was to work for the Foreign Office. So I applied for the civil service and never got in. So I took a job at the local dentist in the village I lived outside of Edinburgh, and I went home at lunchtime and my mum said, "Oh, you got a phone call, you got a job with the civil service, the public service." So I went back to the dentist and then said, "Sorry, I've got a job that I really want. I have to go." And he went, "Okay, all the best. Good luck."
Oh, that's good they weren't too put out then, Rosie.
No, absolutely
Nice to be in
not.
demand.
Indeed. And I got back to Australia in 1990, which was bloody fantastic.
Good on you, Rosie. You're in the running for the $100 Kent Town Hotel voucher. There was an extraordinary scene outside the City Ground when Ange Postecoglou, packed up the desk, those little boxes when you leave. He was driving out of the ground, and young Georgia got a photo with him that's gone viral around the world because of the timing of it. We've got it on the Facebook and YouTube live stream. There he is, Aussie Ange with a big smile on his face, little Georgia with the Nottingham Forest scarf on, none the wiser as to what was happening. Georgia joins us on 5AA Breakfast now, along with Mum Carls. Georgia and Carls, good morning to you.
Good morning. Morning.
It's a wonderful photograph, Georgia and Carls. We're looking at it now on our live stream. Can I ask you, Georgia, when the photo was taken, did you know that Ange had been sacked as manager?
Yes, we had just found out, and we felt quite bad. And then we saw lots of people running up to the car, and we thought it was one of the Forest players.
But it was the manager, well, the former manager.
Yes, it was.
And did you think it was a bit sad for him that he got sacked after just 9 games?
Yes, I thought it was quite sad, but he was quite lovely, seeing as he had only been sacked about 5-10 minutes before. He was really nice.
Did he talk to you, Georgia? Did you have a conversation?
Yeah, we did. And he was asking me, he said to me, did I enjoy the game?
Oh, wow. What about you, Mum, Carls? Did you were you the photographer?
Yes, yeah, I was. We, as I said, we were walking back to the car after the game, and we'd just found out that Ange had been sacked, and we saw lots and lots of people getting out of their cars, going up to his car. So we went along and we saw that it was Ange. So I just said, I'm really sorry about what happened. Do you mind if we get a picture? And he was lovely. I think it was just a case of, unfortunately, he wasn't the right fit at Forest. But as a human, he's absolutely a really, really nice gentleman, very, very personable. And I just said, good luck for the future. And he said, thank you. And that was the end of the exchange.
What he has provided is one of the most extraordinary sport photos. It is. He's smiling. Georgia, she looks incredibly cute with her Forest gear on. Hey, Georgia and Carls, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And
That's great.
This is how crazy it was. To put this in a sort of a Crows or Port storyline, this would be like, so 10 minutes after the siren goes at Adelaide Oval, Matthew Nix or Kennickley or Josh Crow gets told they're sacked. So they're driving out of the ground the same time as the fans are leaving as the news breaks. Yeah. Kate Mines is the host of the Tricky Talks Nottingham Forest podcast. Kate, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It wasn't really a surprise, was it, Kate, given the record and the owner's lack of patience?
I think it was inevitable. When that second goal went in, we lost 3-0 to Chelsea just before he was sacked, and it just felt like there was no argument to keep him anymore. And so I don't think anyone was surprised that he went, but I do think a lot of people were surprised at how fast he went after the final whistle.
We're obviously biased as Australians, Kate, because, he did such a great job coaching the Socceroos in the World Cup a couple of tournaments back. He always says, stick with me, you win something in your second season, but the patience wasn't there this time.
Well, our owner isn't renowned for his patience, and I think Ange probably knew that when he took the job. And I do think it was a gamble. It was a gamble for the club, and it was probably a gamble for Ange as well, and he knew that. But you know what? He's he's done all right out of it. You know, he's got a big smile on his face in that picture. I think he's been well paid, and the Ange Postecoglou show continues, doesn't it?
What's it like being a Forest fan? What's the? I'm trying to remember. You guys, you're generally in the Premier League, aren't you? Have you been relegated a couple of times?
We were relegated and out of the Premier League for nearly 30 years.
30.
So we had this amazing time under Brian Clough. I don't know if that name is known in Australia.
A couple of
and
European
we won
championships.
some European trophies. That's right. We won some European trophies, and then it all started to go wrong sort of in the 90s, and we spent a long time in the Championship and in League One, which is sort of like your third tier, and was sort of scrambling to get out for years and years, and then came back, and we have established ourselves back in the Premier League now. We are actually back in Europe this season, which I think is why Ange seems like an attractive prospect to our manager, because he's got a really good record of winning trophies, and obviously won the European one with Spurs last season. But it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It just didn't.
Maybe he's more tournament-oriented than, the sort of home and away season doesn't suit his style. Because he turns it on for the big games.
Yeah, I think style of football isn't really what Forest were playing and are used to playing and are used to seeing, and it was just a dramatic change in what the players were expected to do under our previous manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, to this infamous Ange ball that he brings everywhere. And it was just too different, and the fixtures were too hard, and they came thick and fast, and the whole thing just didn't work. But like Carl said, we wish him luck. I'm sure he will go on to do great things and win many more trophies, just not with Forest, which we're okay with.
Well, we hope the season turns around, Kate. It was one that held so much promise for Forest fans with that return to Europe and the surprising finish late last year. So hopefully the ship is righted and there are happier times ahead at the City Ground. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Kate Mines, who's the host of the Tricky Talks Nottingham Forest podcast. Speaking of Ange Postecoglou and short-lived jobs, let's go to Mono Para. Luke, your shortest-lived job. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yes, my shortest-lived job was I arrived on a civil construction site and asked them, what time do we finish? And they said, well, you finish about 3:10 in the afternoon because we don't pay labour hire overtime. So I said, thank you very much for your time, packed up my gear and left.
That was it. That was all you needed to hear.
That's all. I wasn't there to work for 8 hours and then get sent home. So I said no, thank you.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's something empowering when you yourself just say, you know what, that doesn't suit me.
Clint Eastwood, take this job and shove it.
Exactly
was
right.
Was that Clint Eastwood?
I'm not sure.
It was a song. I'm pretty sure it was Clint Eastwood during his comedy period, sort of late 70s, when he was hanging around with that orangutan, orang person, utan jungle person in Indonesian. There
magnificent.
You go.
All right, let's check traffic, police and weather coming up in just a moment. Browse undercover in comfort for your certified pre-owned Toyota at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Summerton Park.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Roads looking really good today. We're accident breakdown free. Do have a burst water main to keep in mind. You'll find this one at St Agnes today. Got roads closed around there too. Hancock Road near Kennedy and Francis Street. A little bit slow for the works. South Road at Glandorf for the tram overpass activity. And starting to build at Flinders Park for the ongoing works on Grange Road and Holbrooks Road intersection upgrade. Cameras, Churchill Road, Kilburn and Manton Streets at Hindmarsh. Red Rooster's $10 mega box packs in fried chicken, tenders, nuggets, mash and gravy chips and dipping sauce. It's a mega mouthful. Get it where you can, while you can. See website for details. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey, don't get too close to the road.
She rides from the top of the driveway to test how fast she can go. And suddenly...
Wait, stop!
She's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Imagine a backyard filled with lush green turf. At one end, a set of cricket stumps. Right now, it's just a backyard. But to your kids and their friends, it's an oval, a stadium, and they can be heroes. Kids love a great patch of grass, and you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
You don't just do a good barbie, you're the tong master. You're not just flipping snags, you've earned the title Backyard Hospitality Director. So you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens.
Choose from the best appliances, add a bar fridge or a pizza oven, or stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete bench tops. They do indoor bench tops too. These handmade concrete bench tops can really update any kitchen space. Custom made for you, every piece unique, especially for you.
Call for a consultation and quote today or visit the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Our place is your place at the Albion Hotel. Your place to raise a glass to a big sporting win, a milestone birthday, or just making it through the week. Cheers. Your place to bring the entire family, including the kids and grandkids, for an amazing meal together. Your place to sit back and just soak it all in. The Albion Hotel. Your local, your people, your place.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey. Don't get too close to the road. Wait, stop!
Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
12 to 7. Weather-wise, I think we've buried the lead this morning because there is some wild weather forecast for this week in Adelaide. Jenny Horvat has all the details for us from the Weather Bureau. Morning to you, Jenny.
Good morning, guys.
It starts kind of normal today and then things go a bit haywire.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of cloud out there today associated with the trough, and it's a bit of a patchy cloud band. So we're not seeing too much in there at the moment, but a little bit of light shower activity coming through. And we could pick up, it's going to be a bit hit and miss whether we pick up a couple of millimetres here and there. So far it's only been a fraction of a millimetre since 9 a.m. Yesterday, Kaipo picking up 0.6, Echunga picking up 0.4, and there's been a couple of 0.2s near the coast, but not too much in it so far. But yeah, today we'll see that cloud band moving across. That's one trough. And then, as you mentioned, tomorrow maybe a little bit more interesting and more likely to see a bit of rainfall around, especially if we see some thunderstorm activity, which looks like it's possible as we head into the later part of the afternoon and Tuesday evening through there. So that's another trough and a low pressure system coming across from the west. But ahead of that, we've got these sort of southeast to southwesterly winds. They'll tend a little bit more easterly during the day there. Temperatures a bit of a mixed bag, potentially getting up to around 24 degrees in the city. We may see a little bit more warmth in the northern suburbs, possibly 27 in parts, more like 22 or 23 along the coast. And Mount Barker, we've got 22 on the forecast through there. Currently it is a 16.7 at the West Terrace Night Appear observation site, and we did see our minimum temperature about 5:30 this morning at 16.3. As we head on into Tuesday, we're looking at minimum temperatures of around 14 degrees, possibly getting up to around 27 before things really amplify as we head into the later part of the day there with the showers and possible thunderstorms through there, and maybe some more notable rainfall totals across the hills. Things should be starting to settle down on the Wednesday there, so maybe continuing a little bit overnight, a little bit unsettled there with potentially some showers and thunderstorms lingering into the early hours of Wednesday, but as we head into Wednesday day, we should really see those showers easing back, but that temperature back down to around 19 degrees. Quite settled with a high pressure system coming back on Thursday there. We're looking at around 20 degrees, only the slight chance of some light showers around, but then potentially on Friday, we've got another system coming across from the west there, so maybe something coming through later in the day, but it does look like there could be a shower or two around on the weekend. Those temperatures around 21 on Sunday, maybe 24 on Saturday there, guys. So a bit of a mixed bag, but it is spring, so we do expect the weather to be quite changeable.
Good stuff. Good on you, Jenny. Jenny Horvat from the Weather Bureau. Let's head to Sapole. Senior Constable Matt Brown joins us. Matt, a man's been taken to hospital after an assault at Seaford.
That's right. Well, about 2:20 a.m. today, police and ambulance crews were called to a business on the parade at Seaford.
after reports that a man had attempted to force his way into a workshop. A fight occurred between the suspect and a 45-year-old man who was at the property. Now, the suspect, a 46-year-old Aldinga Beach man, was taken to hospital in a serious condition, but the other man wasn't injured. Anyone who witnessed the incident is asked to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Matt, also, a bloke's been arrested in Renown Park after some firearms were found in his car.
That's right, Dave. Bit of a scary one, this one. About 6:45 p.m. yesterday, police went to a house on Torrens Road after receiving information that firearms were on the property. And officers searched a car parked at the address, locating 2 loaded handguns inside the vehicle. So a 47-year-old man from the address was charged with numerous firearms offences, including possess an unregistered firearm and possess a firearm without a licence. He didn't apply for bail and will appear in the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today. So anyone with information about illegal firearms is urged to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000, and you can always remain anonymous.
Good stuff, Matt. Have a good day. Senior Constable Matt Brown from Sapole.
Now, the poor old Para Hills Footy Club has been broken into not once, not twice, but 3 times in the past 2 months. Stephen Mulholland, the president of the club, joins us. Stephen, good morning to you.
Good morning, David. Will, how are you?
We're good, thanks, Stephen. But, geez, mate, we're going better than you. Three times. It must be repeat offenders, do you think?
Well, you just don't know, but it's just pathetic, really. To be honest, they're just stealing from kids,
members
of the community, and it takes time for the volunteers, the sponsors, and we get all the help to raise the funds for the equipment, and they're just stealing from kids. Really, it's low life.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So what sort of stuff has been taken, Stephen?
So generally kids' footballs, surprisingly some Guernseys. Not sure if they're starting up a team in prison or something, but they've been taking some of our Guernseys and also some pumps and a couple heaters as well, outdoor heaters.
Yeah, right. And, you guys, Para Hills, it's a pretty, knockabout sort of place. We're not talking Burnside here, are we? Like, this is a sort of modest suburban club. Who ends up footing the bill for all of this?
Well, again, it's our supporters, sponsors, members. Unfortunately, it's part of running a non-profit business organisation, and it's the burden ends up on all the community.
Have you had much help from the police? Is it one of those things where they, is there any CCTV or anything like that that's given you any hope? I doubt it.
Yeah, no. So thankfully to the soccer club next door, they had some good CCTV and were able to capture some really good pictures of these 2 lowlifes this time. And we have put it on our socials, and we've had a pretty big response to over 50,000 views. And it looks like these 2 probably won't be doing this again, hopefully.
Yeah, actually, we've got the video up now, and
it's good quality vision you've got there. They're very identifiable.
Yes,
that was
it is
certainly a worthwhile investment in the club. Those cameras.
Yep, and we're looking at potentially getting some more around the venue to, I think, in the future, to name and shame a few more people that continually choose to vandalise or, try to steal stuff from local communities.
Yeah, well, it's a terrible waste of time and money for you guys, and knowing how much work it takes to run these sorts of clubs. It's this. I'm sure it's not your day job, mate. You got other things on your plate, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's but it's something we love to do, and we love to see the kids and the families out there, having a bit of fun and getting off the social media and being active, and that's what local sports is about, and that's what communities do as well. So it's good.
What kind of season did you guys have just gone, Stephen?
We had a not too bad one. The seniors stayed into Division 6. We had a very successful junior season, which was good. We had 2 premierships and 6 of our teams got into the finals.
Wow, good stuff. Good on you, mate.
It's good.
Well, hopefully they catch these 2 rat bags, and we'll see what happens after that.
I don't want to cast a pall on the segment, but
that's right.
I think we know what'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen Mulholland, the Para Hills Football Club president. Should we do some texts on the Police Home Care text line, 0480 1395?
Andrew says, I've had 2 jobs that lasted 4 hours each. I did a 4-hour trial at a pet meat preparation place. Ugh. And then I did 4 hours training at a fast food place. I texted both of them after and said I wouldn't be coming back. Raymond in Salisbury says, not me personally, but we had a bloke start one day and he pulled the pin after 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
What about Stacey? Stacey in Richmond. She says we've caused climate change. She says you can
make the case.
She says, here we go. In a massive, there can be a massive change in climate in seconds, just with whatever topics you talk about. You can heat South Australia up, or you can freeze it in seconds with the buzz of people talking, phones ringing, people laughing, or spewing of abuse. Either that or 100% behind you. Maybe we should send you to Rio.
Oh, look, I think it couldn't hurt the climate, could it?
No. Hey, how's this bit of breaking at 6:55? So apparently, after we broke the story on, when was it? Friday. We were down at Glenelg.
Yeah.
So apparently, at that point, we only knew about the Onkaparinga mayor going. We didn't know that the Lord Mayor and also, God bless her, the Mayor of Mitcham, the same council, Mitcham, that decided that it would be in the interests of ratepayers if they spent money telling them how to vote in the referendum.
I think
Same
Mitcham's
council.
the kind of council that if they weren't originally going, they would have heard that breaking at 8, and quite opposite to what most of our listeners' response, they would have gone, emergency meeting. We
Yeah,
need
that's
to be
right.
going to Rio.
Well, there is an emergency meeting by the sounds of it, except it's happening in Onkaparinga. We've been told by our good source that a special council meeting is expected to be called as soon as possible, and that there's been overwhelming community feedback, and that a group of Onkaparinga councillors are preparing a rescission motion to block the mayor's overseas travel. Whether they've got the numbers will remain to be seen, whether they have the authority to block it. But as this person says, you know, they're saying that, this is the LGA, it's an LGA trip we're going on. Well, all three of the mayors who are going all hold paid positions on the LGA board. It's a bit cute. And, you know, as this person says, put simply, ratepayers, they're paying for the mayor's salary, they're paying for the LGA membership, and the same mayors get appointed to the LGA board, collect additional pay, and now that's the same body that's funding their overseas travel.
Love a good breaking at 6:55. After 7 o'clock, after 5AA News this morning, we're off to Paris, France to talk about a jewellery heist in the end that sounds like the kind of thing that could well have been the plot of, you know, Ocean's 13. It's a remarkable story.
Sexy Beast.
Sexy Beast,
You've
maybe.
ever seen that?
Yeah, that's the Ben Kingsley film. After 7 o'clock. Also, the tobacco arson wars got really scary over the weekend in Adelaide. They went from being this kind of thing that happens in the dead of night when no one's around to something that happens when people are in the shop. On Henley Beach Road, a pretty remarkable scene played out, and we're going to get into that next.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Speaking mechanic to mechanic, we all know that when you're looking to load up your rig or to do some off-road exploring, the right suspension is crucial. It dictates how much weight you can carry, what you can tow, and how safe and comfortable your ride will be. At Terrain Tamer, our range of GVM upgrades, parabolic springs, smart coils and fortified shock absorbers will get you there and home again without a hitch. To find out more, go to terraintamer.com.
Get ready, Adelaide. The four-wheel drive and adventure show is on, and TJM is bringing the heat. Score 20% off bull bars, suspensions, snorkels, plus the entire TJM protection range. Minimum 20% off TJM camp gear, plus freebies on swags and rooftop tents. Specials on GME radios and Rhino rack, and free light bars with every Rhino platform. Mirrors, long-range tanks, HSP roll covers, and exclusive American truck deals. Only at TJM, this weekend only at the Wayville Showgrounds, Stand W8.
All winter, your pool has been sleeping like a lazy teenager loaded with KFC. Well, now it is time to wake it up. Head to the Pool Supermarket at O'Halloran Hill. It's a mega pool store with everything you need to kickstart that pool for the best of summer.
The Pool Supermarket at O'Halloran Hill will sort you out now with Adelaide's biggest range of pool gear. Pumps, heaters, filters, chemicals, toys, even free water testing.
The Pool Supermarket never muck around when it comes to sorting out your pool. They come out to clean it or repair it if something's not working. And, of course, they supply and install all parts. You don't always need a new pump when it's not working. Sometimes you can just get out the experts like the great guys at the Pool Supermarket to fix it.
That's right. Get your pool summer ready before it turns into a science project. We've all been there. Head to the Pool Supermarket. 3 generations, 55 years experience. The only thing that they don't sell are pools. Poolsupermarket.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two and 24 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
It sounds like something out of a movie. The Louvre in Paris, the victim of a daylight robbery as thieves armed with chainsaws made off with priceless pieces of jewellery. The heist was in the Apollo Gallery, which houses the French crown jewels. The raid lasting just 7 minutes. A major manhunt for those involved is underway. French President Emmanuel Macron says the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Fire has ripped through a block of shops at FIVEAA, east of the city. Italian restaurant La Tavola on Glenburn Road has suffered major damage. Owner Christian Pancioni telling Seven it's heartbreaking.
It's not a phone call you want to be getting at 4:30 in the morning, and something that you've worked so hard to build up, and it's pretty much all just gone in a matter of a few hours.
Loaded firearms have been found during a search at Renown Park. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will police went to a Torrens Road house and searched a car at the address.
A 47-year-old man from the address was charged with numerous firearms offences, including possess an unregistered firearm and possess a firearm without a licence. He didn't apply for bail and will appear in the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today.
An investigation is underway after a hack on Dodo and iPrimus accounts. Around 1,600 customers affected by the breach. Email services were briefly shut down while crews worked to secure systems. More than 410,000 cases of influenza have been recorded across the country this year. That's up from last year's record, 365,000. RAC GP President Dr Michael Wright says the figures are concerning.
Sadly, immunisation rates aren't where they need to be. Only 1 in 4 kids aged between 6 months to 5 years were vaccinated.
Tariffs, critical minerals and AUKUS are expected to dominate talks between our Prime Minister and the US President. Anthony Albanese will touch down in the United States later today ahead of his first formal meeting with Donald Trump. Former White House advisor Laura Schwartz doesn't expect we'll see changes to current US tariffs on our country.
You removed the bio beef embargo. I think that was a really good move by Albanese earlier this summer. But I think the sticking point is that 50% tariff on aluminum.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Outlander, Pajero Sport and new Triton. T's and C's apply.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. We're into the closing few laps of the American Grand Prix in Texas, and Aussie Oscar Piastri is currently in 5th place. His championship lead, though, is set to be eroded even further, with Max Verstappen on track to win again, while Lando Norris is up into 2nd spot after overtaking Charles Leclerc just moments ago.
Norris down the inside, and he takes that 2nd place away from the struggling Ferrari. It's taken him a while.
Audio there thanks to Fox. Let's get to cricket, and Australia's beaten India by 7 wickets to win the opening one-dayer in Perth in a rain-affected match. Chasing 132 to win, the Aussies reached the target with 29 balls to spare. Game 2 will be held in Adelaide on Thursday. Well, Liverpool slipped to 4th on the English Premier League table after suffering a 3rd straight loss, this time going down to fierce rivals Manchester United 2-1 at home. The result lifts United up to 9th. Meantime, Aston Villa's form reversals continued, recording a 3rd straight win after coming from behind to beat Tottenham 2-1 away.
Buendia for Aston Villa. Buendia. Oh, it's brilliant. Emiliano Buendia for Aston Villa. That is a fantastic goal in its inception from start to finish.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. Meantime, Daniil Medvedev has won his first title in 882 days after taking out the Almaty Open in Kazakhstan, beating Corentin Moutet in a tight 3-setter. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Roads aren't looking too bad for the run-in today. Quite light traffic, which is good. And we're accident breakdown free. Take that for a Monday. Nice way to start. Do have a best waterway to look out for at St Agnes. Got a road closed there too. Hancock Road near Kennedy and Francis Street. Starting to get a little bit busy. South Road Glandore for the tram overpass works and a little bit sluggish at the moment. Fitzroy Terrace, North Adelaide. Cameras, Phillip Highway, Elizabeth and South Terrace at Wingfield. One painted nail, one powerful promise. Join Polished Man to spark change, start conversations and stand for a safer, kinder world. Sign up at polishedman.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
We're heading for a top of 24 today with a shower or two. Showers and a storm developing tomorrow, 27. Wednesday down to 19 with showers and a possible early storm. And Thursday, 20. Right now, it's 17 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
At Blackwell Funerals, we care about what matters most. When it comes to saying goodbye, we're here with compassion, dignity and support. Visit blackwellfunerals.com.au to learn more.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Good morning. He was quite lovely seeing he had only been sacked about 5-10 minutes before.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. That was the voice of little Georgia, who we spoke to in the first hour on the program, who took a photo with Ange Postecoglou as he was driving away, having been sacked from the City Ground, the home ground of Nottingham Forest. He's got a big grin on his face. She's got a big grin on her face.
Well, he's got £7 million heading his way as well.
True.
So thank you.
39 days' work. It was just a really bizarre scene, and we spoke to Georgia about it. She was chuffed. She felt bad for him.
She was an immaculately spoken young lady, wasn't she?
Very, quite eloquent.
Yeah, very proper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Magnificent work, little Georgia. That was terrific.
Funny, when you interview kids, you always think, I should bring the parent in, but
she didn't need it.
She was like going really well on her own. I think she'd still be on the air if we decided to talk to her for 45 minutes.
She gave a great account. She was terrific. Coming up a little bit later in the program this morning, the Lord Mayor, Jane Lomax-Smith's going to join us. She one of 3 mayors heading to Brazil for a climate change conference. So we'll get to that.
How unaware can they be of how it looks?
Wow.
At what point? And what about all the people sitting around them? Like, how completely devoid from real life are these people in council? If they sit there thinking, well, this is a good idea. Like, do they even know anyone in their community?
We'll find out with the Lord Mayor joining us just before 8 o'clock this morning. First, though, let's head over to Paris, France. The Louvre's been broken into, and the details of this break-in sound like a rejected script for a Hollywood blockbuster. Jessica Millwood is covering it for 9 News in Europe. Jessica, good morning. Just step our listeners through precisely what's happened there.
Well, I don't think it would be a rejected script at all.
Maybe you're
I think it would make a very good script for a Hollywood movie. So let me set the scene for your listeners. 9:30 in the morning, the Louvre had just opened. It's Sunday here. And then people started to get word that it was being evacuated. What had happened was a truck had pulled up. 2 people got in the basket lift behind it. It ascended up into a window. They cut open the window. They went into what is called the Apollo Gallery and started cutting open the glass cabinets. They then grabbed precious jewels, went back down the window, back down the basket lift. Scooters were waiting and they took off. It was all over in 7 minutes. 4 masked bandits were involved in this, and now they've taken precious jewels from the 19th century jewellery collection of Napoleon and Empress Eugenie. A crown was found dropped and damaged nearby, but in total 8 pieces have been taken. I'm talking thousands upon thousands of diamonds in each of these pieces. They are priceless. They are historic in value, of course, but in terms of a dollar value, you can't put a dollar value on what these thieves have taken off with, and this is hugely embarrassing for the French authorities.
It's such an audacious robbery, Jessica. They must have planned it meticulously. Like it sounds like it's like the El Chapo escape. Like it's just sort of down to the last millisecond the way they worked it out.
Yeah, it was all in broad daylight. It was in front of tourists. That there has been vision captured of it, showing a person in a high-vis vest. So basically they pretended to be workmen. They actually set up the cones around the truck that they parked up half on the footpath. The authorities here are saying that this was a very sophisticated operation. This was clearly a very professional gang. It would have taken planning, but it is the most brazen heist in living memory. The Mona Lisa was taken from the Louvre in 1911. It was found in Florence 2 years later, but in terms of in our living memory, this is the largest heist that French authorities have seen, and so many people are asking the question, how on earth this could happen? This is supposed to be one of the most secure buildings in the world.
Unbelievable.
It is just a remarkable story, Jessica. Thank you. I do retract that. That would be a terrific Hollywood film. Jessica Millwood for 9 News in Europe. I just wonder.
Have you been there?
I've been there. Yeah,
I've never been.
It's a remarkable place. It's so massive. There's just so much stuff, and obviously the pointed pyramid triangle that emerges from the ground is an iconic piece of architecture.
I always have trouble pronouncing it.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Louvre.
Well, I mean, listen. Let's not go there. Let's not. Let's not go there.
Now, the idea of things being priceless is interesting, isn't it? Like, you think everything's got its price. Well, it hasn't. Like, there's a lot of art, like the Mona Lisa, for example. Like, what do you pay for it? There's quite a few things in. I know at the Prado, there's like all those Velasquez paintings, like Las Meninas, which a lot of people say is the most important piece of art ever because it's like from the Middle Ages into the modern era, and that's, I think, by Spanish law, it's prohibited from ever being sold anyway. There'd be a lot of stuff like that.
Considering the number 8 number plate in South Australia went for $2.3 million, I can't imagine what the Mona Lisa would go for. I was thinking, though, if you ran off with the crown of the Empress Eugenie, the wife of Napoleon III, do you put that on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah,
Is
cash converters. I got some roller skates. I got some jousting sticks. I only got this crown.
Yeah.
The thing is, I reckon if you took it to cash converters, they could just give you $50 for it.
Yeah, it'd be a flat 50.
I reckon they give everyone $50.
Yeah, I think that's the standard fare for priceless artefacts. Hey, speaking of major extraordinary crimes, there was one much closer to home. The Sare supermarket and butchery on Henley Beach Road at Mile End attracted the attention of much of the state after emergency services were called there at 11:30 a.m. on the weekend after 3 men of Asian appearance entered the store and started a fire. Some people said a Molotov cocktail. Have a listen to this witness.
It's just people screaming and running everywhere. So I've just, next minute the fire is, everyone's here. Some guy's taken off in a black Lexus, rammed up some lady, this poor innocent lady trying to turn onto Henley Beach Road. And he sped off. Someone did get hurt. An innocent young worker, I think, so hopefully he's well. It's horrible and it shouldn't happen. And it's sad. I just hope, everything does come to an end.
So deliberately started fire in a business with several people inside, several people who suffered non-life-threatening injuries. We've become, unfortunately, all too familiar with the idea that businesses in South Australia spontaneously combust. What we haven't had is daylight attacks like this. That's why it's drawn the attention of the Premier.
We're certainly worried about it as a government. We've thrown more resources at this in South Australia than any other jurisdiction, and it's yielding results, but that's also putting pressure on the suppliers, which is resulting in the sort of attacks that we're seeing.
So that restaurant, grocery store now, Sare began its life as a restaurant, and people who live in the inner west will know Sare was one of along with the Lawash Bakery on South Road near George Street, like an absolute must-go-to place for Middle Eastern food. Then it became a supermarket, and I don't know what's gone on, but this is the second time it's been attacked. There was a firebombing, Molotov cocktail, some drama about a year ago at Sare because it shut down for a while. It doesn't operate as a restaurant anymore, but it became a supermarket. Now, I don't know what they're selling there, but there's some sort of issue that I think involves the ownership of the building. There's some backstory to it because that's how a completely reputable and respected business like the Corinthian Meats people end up getting sort of caught up in some incoming through no fault of their own. They had that arson attack the other week. And now this has happened again. So, this is people just going about their business on a Saturday, broad daylight. Someone's going to die.
We don't know enough about it to know whether it has connections to the illegal tobacco trade. Given what's going on in South Australia at the moment, it's hard to imagine it doesn't. But we await any actual evidence on that point. But it feels pertinent to mention in the midst of this conversation that the federal government's putting together a new task force nationally to try to crack down on the illegal tobacco trade. They're going to be using the payments watchdog, the Agriculture Department. I'm not sure what the Agriculture Department's role is going to be, but they're going to be involved as well. Services Australia are going to be involved as well. I found this remarkable in the Advertiser reporting this morning. They quoted the ABC, who spoke to an internal tobacco industry expert, so someone who works for the tobacco industry, who now believe that the amount of illicit tobacco that makes up the total tobacco market is 64% now. So this is people who sell tobacco legally in Australia. Their internal data says 64% of all tobacco sold is now illegal.
Well, I reckon next time you're in your local, have a wander past the beer garden, the smoking area, and just have a look at the packs. A lot of people look like they've just come back from overseas, but they haven't. It's like the guy at my local Drake's said to me about 6 months ago, he said, cigarette sales have plummeted. And it's just tax.
This is the kind of story, too, that I think has thus far bubbled along sort of as a curio, where people have gone, well, look, if organised criminals want to go and firebomb each other in the middle of the night, so be it. No one likes it because there's potential for damage to neighbouring businesses. We spoke to puddle jumpers are out of business. Everyone thinks it's bad. This is if this is connected and we start to see two things, one of which we know is existing in Melbourne because we've crossed and spoken about it, businesses without a connection now being firebombed because the business model is protection rackets, but two, daylight attacks when there are people in stores. This is now something that that governments can't just treat as, well, it's an inconvenience. Yeah. And we're going to address. This
like bikie violence or something.
Correct.
It's all contained.
That's right.
Because it's not contained.
It's not contained any longer, and that's what's scary about it.
Now, Rob, this might be an all-timer from Rob. This is his take on the robbery at the Louvre. He says, the Louvre thieves had no money to buy the gas to make the van go, so they had to use scooters instead. No money to buy the gas to make the van go.
Rob, you're an artist. You're an artist.
Oh, how good's that?
This is interesting. We received a text about this a short time ago. Geoscience Australia have reported this morning that they've received multiple reports from Adelaide about a seismic event at 2:30 this morning. However, there was no seismic event observed.
I was going to say, so passed us by.
But it was notable enough that they have put out they've issued a statement saying lots of people have contacted them. Any theories as to what caused the earth to shake this morning? 82230000 is the number, because I tell you what, the geosciences people are saying wasn't an earthquake. Anyone else got a theory? 82230000, text us on the Police Home Care text line.
Here's one unrelated to that, but in the context of the Sare supermarket attack. And this person, be they male, female, no name given, understandably, even though they're not actually breaking the law because it's not illegal to buy the things. He says, morning, boys. I'm a hard-working, full-time employed Australian. I like to have a smoke. Why would I spend $100 on a 35-gram pouch from Smoke Mart when I can get it for $25? It's a cost-of-living measure, and if the government dropped its ridiculous tax, I'd go back to buying them.
Well, let's never forget that the genesis of this was just bad government.
Yeah, totally. They inadvertently invented a business model.
Yeah. 20 after 7, we're going to check traffic and come back with Rowie in just a moment. Browse undercover and comfort for your certified pre-owned Toyota at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Summerton Park.
Morning there. Pretty good run into work today. We're accident breakdown free. Super light traffic, which is nice for a Monday, isn't it? Do have a best watermaid to look out for at St Agnes. Got a road closed around there too, Hancock Road near Kennedy and Francis Street. Port Adelaide has works which are sluggish. Grand Trunkway near Perkins Drive and started to get busy. Port Road at Hindmarsh heading into the city. Canberra South Terrace, Wingfield and Whites Road, Paralawi. Look for the RAA sign at over 400 independent RAA approved repairers across SA. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
Australia is holding in storage less than a month's worth of jet fuel, petrol and diesel fuel in reserve.
Graham Goodings.
Former Senator Rex Patrick.
It's not serious until something happens. Any conflict that may disrupt, for example, the Straits of Hormuz or shipping in and around Singapore, we simply don't have enough fuel stored here in Australia.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au. Morford.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
If you received a letter from a company called Home, don't toss it out because you could be throwing away a rare and golden opportunity. Home is a South Australian-based company with Crows legend Daniel Talia at the helm, and put simply, they buy homes.
So if you've got a letter, Dan and his team are dead serious about buying your property and they'll offer you market value. Now, here's the best part. There's no advertising fees, no agent commissions, just a straightforward, stress-free sale that could save you thousands.
Selling your home doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Home make it easy by handling everything for you so you can focus on your next move. And with flexible settlement terms, you'll have all the time you need to find your next home.
So to find out more, visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
Australia's cheaper home batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system with NRG Solar. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500. Whether you're adding a battery to existing solar or starting from scratch, this is the moment to say goodbye to your power bills for good. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence.
Still thinking about a sea change? Think Oakford Homes in Counter Bay. New stage released and selling fast. A variety of block sizes available in a friendly community with brand new low maintenance homes plus the beach close by. Affordable packages, no surprises. Move in now or invest for the future. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land ready to build. Don't miss out. New stage now released. Visit our display village at Encounter Bay. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Geosciences Australia says they've received multiple reports from Adelaide that there was some kind of earth tremor. The only problem is their instruments say there was nothing. So what's happened? Andrew in Prospect's got a theory for us. Morning, Andrew.
Oh, yes, good morning. First of all, I thought it could be my love life, but
Andrew.
that one went a little bit out the window. But I think it might be the reaction that when the president meets the prime minister.
That's what it is. Some sort of convulsion that's anticipating a meeting in the White House. Andrew, we'll put it on the. We'll mark it down as a potential theory. Just above your love life. 822 You can text in the Police Home Care text line. To what do we owe reports of a tremor, but no actual evidence of seismic activity?
Sam in Mount Barker says it wasn't an earthquake, it was my dad sneezing. Must be quite a sneezer. Geez, Andrea says, I work on Henley Beach Road. She says the state of this area that we've been talking about, she says, absolutely terrifying. And she says they found a body behind my workplace where we parked our cars about a year ago. Unbelievable. Okay.
We got the power to win.
Oh, here we go.
Power to roll.
This is our happy birthday present to one of our all-time favourites. Are we? It's a big happy birthday, a milestone for our Alberton correspondent Dave Lloyd, who is bringing a Port Adelaide perspective to the program since I think we first started.
Yeah.
He's become an integral part of the show with dispatches from the north. Dave Lloyd, a very happy 50th birthday today to you, sir.
Happy birthday, Dave. Seriously, mate, you are a crack up. You're a big part of our show, and we love having an Alberton correspondent. And obviously, our Crows biases are a matter of record. Hopefully, they don't cloud our judgment. But Dave, you help us stay on the straight and narrow, and we do genuinely enjoy your company.
He's a great bloke. We've had the pleasure of meeting him on a number of occasions.
Yeah,
he's a terrific guy.
We had a massive night at Wolf Mother earlier this year at Beer and Barbecue. That night was bucketing down, and we were standing there watching the Brisbane game together, the Brisbane Crows game, punching in West Ends and the Red Cans. And he's looked at me at the end. He goes, "You're going to win this." And he said, "But no," he said, "But you're Port. You're gonna go out in straight sets." He's like the Oracle. He was bloody right.
He's actually the thinking man's footy fan, Dave Lloyd. He's a very smart football analyst and quite even-headed.
And he's also 50.
What about that? Happy birthday, Dave.
Good on you, Dave.
Stephen Rowe on 5AA Breakfast.
All right, let's talk sports. Stephen Rowe joining us on 5AA Breakfast this Monday morning. Rowie, good morning to you.
Yeah, well done, David Alberton. Happy birthday, mate. He's one of those smart Port blokes that keeps me on the straight and narrow too. So, yeah, good on you. Hey, well done, fellas. Solid weekend. Mixed fortunes. 36ers won. The Reds Friday night, they were great. 2-1. Queensland beat us by 7 wickets. We're 0 from 2 in our Shield defence. The Lightning Girls started slowly. Didn't do too bad. Australia v India. Now, our one-day internationals have started, so the Australian boys are playing. It was rain affected. We won by 7 wickets, the old Duckworth-Lewis. But I want to talk about Ange Postecoglou. Nottingham Forest Ange. What's he lost? 3-0 to Chelsea, which can happen. He lasted 39 days. He was winless in 8. His little Greek mate who owns Nottingham Forest put him on. In he goes, and out he goes with $5 million in the back pocket. That is unbelievable. They sacked him 19 minutes after the game. They are ruthless over there.
It's crazy.
It is.
But
just culturally, it's so different.
Well, it was $7 million, not 5, wasn't it?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. I might have done it in pounds. Let's put it into euro, and, yeah, it's about 7. So that's 2 payouts he's got. The sad thing about this one, that's it now. No one's going to touch him now in the Premier League. You might get another gig somewhere else. But 39 days, winless in 8. They were starting to look like they were going okay. But the owner just got up at half-time and walked out, and that was it. See you later.
That's what you can do when you own a team.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It is. It's just.
I don't reckon it's the end of his career, though. Like, maybe, certainly in the Premier League, rather. But you can see, like, another nation picking him up for a World Cup campaign because he's got a proven track record as a tournament coach.
Yep. Oh, God, 19 minutes after the final siren. The siren went and the Nottingham Forest was singing, "He better be sacked by breakfast" or something. Oh, God, they're ruthless.
It's quite ruthless. Weird to compare it to AFL, though, isn't it, Rowie? Because, like, how often do coaches just hang on and on and on and on and on in AFL?
You speak to Port people, Kenny hung on for 3 years and then they had a succession plan for 18 months. Yeah.
I mean, what about Adam Simpson at West Coast? I know he won a flag, but he won 4 wooden spoons as well or something.
Yep. No, we're a little bit more forgiving. Well, because you're right, we're not owned by one bloke who can have a gutful and just with a stroke of a pen go, you're out.
Yeah.
What's better, our system or theirs?
I think
depends how well your footy team's going.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, we'd have you back, Ange. Well done, mate. You know, he takes the money to the bank in a wheelbarrow. He'll be off to some resort somewhere, swanning it up, then he'll be back in Australia. But anyway, he's gone. See you at 4, man.
Good on you, Ange. I like this text from Karen on the Police Home Care text line. When it comes to that tremor that took place earlier this morning that no one knows the source of, Karen says, according to my Snore app, it was probably me that caused the tremor.
We'll never stop, stop, stop till we're top, top, top. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two and 24 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Keep in shape with physio-instructed clinical Pilates and gym classes at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
There's been an early morning fire at a block of shops in FIVEAA. Crews were called to Glenburn Road around 2 a.m. La Tavola has been badly damaged. Hayden Nelson from 7 News has spoken to the owners of the Italian restaurant.
They say they're insured, so a lot of the property that's been lost, a lot of that equipment that has been lost, hopefully something they can recover. At this stage, they're going to be closed for at least a few weeks, maybe a few months, as they try and pick up the pieces and get it all back together.
A man's in hospital after an early morning assault at Seaford. Just before 2:30, police and ambulance crews were called to a business on the parade. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will there had been reports a man had tried to force his way into the workshop.
A fight occurred between the suspect and a 45-year-old man who was at the property. Now, the suspect, a 46-year-old Aldinga Beach man, was taken to hospital in a serious condition, but the other man wasn't injured.
Court today for a renowned park man after a search uncovered loaded firearms. Police went to a Torrens Road home last night and searched a car at the address. A 47-year-old man has been charged with several offences, including possess unregistered firearms and possess firearm without a licence. He did not apply for bail. A major manhunt is underway after a jewellery heist at the Louvre in Paris. In just 7 minutes, masked thieves made their way into the museum in broad daylight and left with several objects. One of the items, a crown, was found outside. Footage shows a man dressed as a construction worker breaking open a display case. Local Monica says it's extraordinary.
I cannot imagine nobody saw the wheel. Nobody saw nothing. It's not normal.
Posters to help recognise the early signs of gambling harm will start popping up from this week. They'll be rolled out at more than 450 pubs, clubs and support services as part of Gambling Harm Action Week. Human Services Minister Nat Cook says there are also postcards and fact sheets.
They really do speak to the people who are involved, the people who need to listen, and that they absolutely make sense. So they are a practical guide developed by people with lived experience in consultation with people who are expert working in the field of gambling harm support.
London's Metropolitan Police are looking into new claims against Prince Andrew. There are newspaper reports he tried to obtain personal information about his sex accuser, Virginia Giuffre, through his police protection. He allegedly gave the officer her date of birth and confidential social security number. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Eclipse Cross PHEV. T's and C's apply.
Breaking news, Tom Wren.
Yeah, absolutely, Mel. Max Verstappen has won the US Grand Prix, closing the gap on championship leader and Aussie Oscar Piastri in the process. The Dutchman led on every lap and has now cut the lead to only 40 points after completing a dominant weekend in Texas.
Verstappen crosses the line, wins the US Grand Prix, and it has been Max attack and Max success all weekend long for him. Lando Norris finishes second, Charles Leclerc will be third.
Yeah, great result there for him. Audio thanks to Fox. Now, the second place finish for Norris means he's now only 14 points behind Piastri, who finished back in 5th spot. Well, Australia's taken a 1-0 series lead in its 3-match one-day series against India after winning by 7 wickets in a rain-affected match in Perth. Mitch Marsh continued his great form in a low-scoring game, finishing unbeaten on 46 to guide the Aussies home. To tennis now, Daniil Medvedev has won his first title in more than 2 years after beating Frenchman Corentin Moutet in a classic 3-setter, which finished with an epic point.
It is a moment worth savouring.
Audio there thanks to Fox. Now, that tournament was played in Kazakhstan and it's the 29-year-old's 21st ATP Tour title. And in some soccer news to finish, a couple of big upsets in the English Premier League overnight. Manchester United stunning Liverpool with a 2-1 win at Anfield, while Aston Villa also had a 2-1 win away against Tottenham. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there, roads looking okay so far. Do have a burst waterway to look out for. You'll find this one at St Agnes, Scott Road closed around there soon. Hancock Road near Francis Street. The odd shower starting to roll through this morning. Take it easy on damp roads and a little slow already. Fitzroy Tourist North Adelaide for the drive-in. Cameras Whites Road, Paralawi and Cavan Road at Dry Creek. Flight Centre's Big Red Sale is on now. Fly London return from $1,312 per person. Get 50% off tours and more. Call 133 133 today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
A shower or two, 24 today. Showers and a storm developing tomorrow, 27. Wednesday, a possible early storm. Showers are 19 and 20 on Thursday. Right now, it's 18 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Fluorio Milk Company will always put SA first. And you can too. When you reach for milk, reach for Fluorio Milk Company products and support our dairy farmers and their families. We guarantee that all our milk is 100% South Australian and it's always fresh. We have over 24 refrigerated trucks shipping Fluorio milk to cafes, restaurants and supermarkets all over SA. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
It can happen at any time, more often than you think. Suddenly, through illness or accident, you could lose the capacity to manage your financial or personal affairs. What happens next? Who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Now, building a home's exciting. The possibilities are almost endless, but for a seamless and enjoyable build, it's crucial to choose the right builder. It'll make all the difference.
It's the very reason why so many South Australians trust Rossdale Homes. With over 40 years of experience, the team at Rossdale are your local experts in custom designs, SDA housing, knockdown rebuilds, house and land packages and more.
And of course, Rossdale Homes are synonymous for their absolute fixed price contracts. It means there are no hidden costs, just peace of mind.
So if you're ready to build with a team that puts you first at every stage of the building process, choose Rossdale Homes, because trust is a must.
At Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, the swear jar takes on a whole new meaning. It's about their pledge to do everything they can to make your bathroom or kitchen renovation experience the best it can possibly be. It's a commitment their entire business takes seriously, from their incredible design team through to their selections and tradespeople. Every person at Buy Urban is invested. They swear by it. Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Steinborner has done it again. The Jack T9 Ute has landed at Jack Motors in Gawler. Enjoy a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, 7-year unlimited K warranty, 7-year roadside assistance, 7-year capped price servicing. The Jack T9 impresses with a turbocharged diesel engine, 4x4 dual-range transmission, 3-ton towing capacity, and it can easily handle a full-size Aussie pallet with a 1,045-kilo payload. All this from $39,990 drive away. Jack Motors, it's well worth the trip. Gawler, Barossa and Clare, or at gawlerjackmotors.com.au.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. When you buy 3 Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for your next adventure. City Discount Tyres are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttyres.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 8, we're giving you and a friend a chance to win flights, accommodation and tickets to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo in Brisbane, February 2026.
That'd be great. I went to one of these when I was a kid. It was fascinating.
Are you still at the point when you hear 2026 and you think, that feels like, that's years away?
I know. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. All you need to do is listen out for the Royal Military Band as your cue to call, and that will put you in the running to get along. So if you hear the Royal Military Band, call in on 8223 0055. All thanks to Spark Travel. Plan your next getaway with the experts at Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a friendly conversation. Lots of theories coming through, and certainly lots of observations of something that rattled Adelaide at about 2:30 a.m. this morning, that Geosciences Australia have received enough alerts that they felt the need to issue a statement saying, we know you're all calling us. It wasn't seismic activity. So listen to these texts. Deb says, 2 a.m. Glengarry, I thought there was an earth tremor. The rumbling sound of the ground and windows were making a shaking sound. Andrew in Carricalinga says, boys, yes, definitely a tremor at 2:30 this morning. Sounded like thunder. Went for several seconds. I stood on my balcony at Carricalinga waiting for the lightning, but then I went back to bed. And Dave's got a theory for us. Dave says the earthquake felt across Adelaide yesterday was cars hitting potholes and roadworks in Banksia Park. Due to the sewer works that have been going on for 12 months now, it's a daily occurrence.
I think Dave's serious about that. Sounds like he's serious.
He might be serious.
Yeah.
He might be serious. Thank you, David. I tell you who was serious, the Victorian Police Commander, Wayne Cheeseman, who held an extraordinary press conference on the weekend following the March for Australia protests and the counter-protests that in Victoria turned violent. And he had a message for those counter-protesters who he said were targeting police. Have a listen.
The people that came to pick the fight with police were the issue-motivated groups on the left. I can tell you that the March for Australia group, they were peaceful, they were engaging, they listened to our instructions, they did what they were told, and they protested by example.
He started the press conference by holding up a box, tipping it upside down, full of the rocks that were thrown at police.
Well, these people are just dead set box ticking left-wing rent-a-crowd, aren't they? One day it's Gaza, then it's, bums to the bitumen for climate change, then it's Antifa-type stuff. But to arrive with that level of preparation, and I tell you, that copper, where's the Victorian Labor government been on all of this stuff? As that city has just descended into lawlessness, but it's this mealy-mouth, people are allowed to protest. So no. Stop this caveat-laden crap. And just come out and say, you're not allowed to protest like that. And if you do it, you go to jail. But they just, they're in cahoots, a lot of them, because it's such a left-wing government. They're probably privately barracking for some of these protesters. But that poor copper, read Steve Price's column in today's Herald Sun. He talks about how he was having a beer with some friends in Little Burke Street, and suddenly they looked out the window and there's police with riot shields running down the street. Price's column just has the final line, Melbourne has become a joke.
Just to put it in its political context, last week, Fin Review Redbridge poll, Labor's support's jumped in Victoria at the moment. 52-48 they lead.
But the Liberal Party in Victoria, how can they not be in a position to just coast to power?
It is extraordinary.
They're too busy fighting themselves.
Here in South Australia on the weekend, the March for Australia was much more tame. There was a counter-protest too, and there was an interesting person among their number, Mark Aldridge, who'd been a former organiser of the March for Australia. In fact, had spoken to us ahead of the last March for Australia, saying these were just normal people protesting about immigration and so forth. He had joined the ranks of those protesting the March for Australia protest, and it got a bit heated. Here's how it played out on ABC News.
Racism is just has no place in Australia, and I've got my own interests, which is United, and so I thought I'd come here today because I think I should support them.
No, you were not to do interviews at my event.
No, they asked me. Sorry,
I don't care.
I'll go.
No, do not do that.
I wasn't talking about here at all.
I don't care. You don't have a space here today. You are an audience member because of what you did.
Okay.
You rolled with the Nazis, Brad.
No, I didn't mean to. You know that.
I don't.
That's Natasha Wanganeen, organiser of the counter-protest, arguing with Mark Aldridge, who has switched sides and joins us now on 5AA Breakfast. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave and Will. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Mark. So that was a real-time account of you on the receiving end of an attempted cancellation. But you, Mark, clearly you were upset when because you have strong views about the rate of immigration and the fact that, in your view, we've got too many people here and not enough infrastructure. But did you do this because you felt a bit awkward that, the Nazis crashed the party last time? Was that your motivation?
No, look, the situation was, I've held 2 rallies in South Australia. The first one was a real letdown with these Nazis turning up, and no matter how much work we put into trying to keep them away from the microphone, we were very unsuccessful. And the second rally I held was a bit mixed bag in terms of its messaging, but it was a clean rally and a good rally. Very similar issues for the public. I don't think it's so much a migration issue. It's just the lack of resources for people. People really struggling to. The hospitals are struggling, housing's struggling, and the blame game comes, doesn't it? And so it wouldn't be a bad thing to temper immigration to attend to those issues. And then, of course, I was asked, or initially I said I wouldn't run the third rally because of this whole NSN thing. There was a media release put out by National Socialist Network saying they weren't attending a few days before. But, I mean, how do you give any credence to anything they say, those people? I mean, one of the organisers of the counter-protest, Aboriginal protest, asked me to come along. So I thought, well, I'll go along and try and mend some bridges and see if we can get more of a united front moving forwards. But I'm not sure that went down well completely with everybody there. The elders it did, because I've known the elders for 30 years. I've been going to their rallies for about 30 years here in Canberra. So I thought it could mend some bridges, and it didn't, effectively work too well.
At least we didn't see any scenes of violence here, like in Melbourne.
Well, that's shocking. The Melbourne one's shocking. I mean, really, there's a big issue when you start burning Australian flags and writing "Death to Australia" and all these sorts of things that we're seeing. And I think there's a bit of a shame, really. And that's why I was hoping that the Aboriginal community would understand that 99.99% of the people that attended both rallies weren't racist people. They weren't there for that purpose. And I think it was, a shame to see them thinking that just because the NSN attended a march of nearly 20,000 people, that all of a sudden we're all racist and we're all marching with Nazis. And that's not what the case was.
Yeah. I reckon maybe from here on in, I'd stop going to rallies, full stop. Just enjoy life a bit more, mate. That'd be my tip. But, it just... I don't know what all of this is achieving. It just feels like just circular, counterproductive, divisive. I reckon everyone should just take a chill pill.
Oh, he's hung up.
Mark's gone. Oh, I hope it didn't offend him.
He didn't appreciate that bit of life advice you gave him.
But seriously, there's better things to do with your weekend, aren't there?
David, not while the world's in the state it is, there isn't. Let's check traffic.
We're going to Melbourne Friday week to see Oasis.
You'll be not...
Are we going to be safe?
People will be able to spot you. You'll be the one not protesting.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Let's check traffic. Yeah. I was undercover in comfort for your certified pre-owned Toyota at the new Java store at Brighton Road, Summerton Park.
Morning there. Roads are looking after themselves this morning, which is nice. Got a few showers rolling through, so damp in a few spots. And do have a burst water main to look out for at St Agnes today. Holbrooks Road near Francis Street. Got a road closed through there. A little bit slow at the moment. Port Road at Hindmarsh heading into the city, and started to build Grange Road at Flinders Park for those works near Holbrooks Road. Canberra's Whites Road, Paralawi and Cavan Road, Dry Creek. FBOS fees are great for banks, not businesses. Pay no fees or terminal rental with SmartPay. Visit smartpay.com.au. T's and C's and minimum turnover apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
50 scorching summers. 50 freezing winters. And only one Morford Air helped us through it all. Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company, Morford Air, has kept South Australians cool and warm for over 50 years. That's half a century of comfort. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford Air.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
It's Australia's Cheaper Home Batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500.
Whether you're adding a battery to an existing solar system or starting from scratch, now's the time to act. NRG Solar, they're ready to help you maximise your savings, and yes, systems installed from now are eligible.
NRG Solar are the local experts. They'll guide you through your options and help you lock in the rebate. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence. That's 1300 858 160.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
SEW Eurodrive offers innovative solutions with products and services provided from a single local source. SEW Eurodrive, driving Australian industry since 1982.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Perhaps. Don't look back in anger.
Yeah.
Juby, you'll be singing
Can't we all
in
get
full
along?
voice.
Rodney King said
this
that.
weekend.
Friday week.
Friday week.
Managed to get the tickets.
Off to Melbourne. Not quite going to Rio, though, is it?
No. Our next guest is going to Rio, along with two other mayors, the Mayor of Mitcham and also the Mayor of the Onkaparinga Council, Dr. Jane Lomax-Smith, the Lord Mayor of Adelaide. Lord Mayor, good morning and thank you for your time.
Good morning. Good to speak to you.
Can I just say, we sort of put the shout out at the start of the show. What do people think of this trip and the fact that three mayors are going? It's jarring with the public.
Well, I understand that nobody likes anyone spending money unnecessarily, but Adelaide happens to be the potential host of a major event that will bring 50 to 100,000 people into town, will put us on a global map. And the reality is there's a lot of organisation that has to occur. I've already been talking to groups who are booking hotels, booking venues, and we're going to host quite a few, I suspect at least 2,000 local councils coming to Adelaide, who the City Council will be hosting. Adelaide is actually the host, and I've been invited to an event that's being paid for by an international philanthropy group, and it's an opportunity for me to meet other people who are potentially coming.
Are you saying if you don't go that our COP30 bid will be imperilled?
Not in the least. I'm not that delusional. I'm not completely daft. But I do believe that it's good to form relationships. And when you're into the area of international bidding, it will be pretty bizarre if everyone from Turkey were attending events and there were no one from Adelaide. It's really important that we wave the flag. And since someone else is paying, why wouldn't I spend their money?
We'll talk about someone else is paying. Someone else is paying for the conference. But the people who are paying for you and the Mayor of Onkaparinga and the Mayor of Mitcham to actually go, to fly there, that's the LGA, is it not?
Well, no, it's not. My sponsors are paying all my airfares and my hotel accommodation for the conference. There's a couple of days gap in between when I can pay for that. But basically, I'm a paid guest. And it would be crazy not to spend someone else's money. And I'm going to go and I'm going to wave the flag. I'll attend every event. I'll speak at every convention and every conference. And I'll be talking up Adelaide because that's what I'm good at. I'm a spruiker and I can do that. So it would be crazy for me not to.
What about the other two mayors? Do you know, are they, this philanthropic organisation, are they picking up the bill for them as well, or are they being funded? Is Airtrip being funded by the local government association, i.e. ratepayers?
I can't answer for them, but I'm the only one that's being paid from Adelaide. I suspect that the philanthropists are paying for people from across the country, because I understand about 20 delegates are going from Australia, various organisations, various mayors. A lot of people are going, but the reality is I only can speak for myself. I'll be spending someone else's money, and presumably the philanthropy that I'm getting is being shared around. I know that other Lord Mayors have been funded by this group, and I'm grateful, and I thank them for it.
What about the other trip that you've just been on? Because you were in New York, weren't you, Lord Mayor? Was that paid for by the council, or was that funded by a philanthropist?
No, the council paid for the New York trip. I had another philanthropically subsidised, or completely paid for trip to Bonn. So this is my second subsidised or paid for trip, and one of the trips I've had in the last year has been paid for by the council.
What do you make of the optics of sort of flying around the planet business class in the name of saving it?
Well, I don't think that anybody who is subsidised by their council is flying business class. I know that my council will only pay for economy class if they were paying for me, which they are not.
Well, forget the class. The massive.
It's your idea, not mine.
Okay, no, fair point. But the point I was making more broadly is that the irony of every sort of local government sector around the world, by the sounds of things, all jumping at the chance of getting involved in these sorts of conferences. Can't you do things via Zoom? Do you have to fly? What about the carbon footprint generated by all of these flights?
Yes, I think that clearly you can argue you should never have any conferences, and we've just built a massive new convention centre in Adelaide to accommodate people coming. So we're all in the game. We've all got skin in the game, attracting conferences and conventions. The reason local government's interested in this is we're not delusional enough to think we can stop climate change. None of us really believe that we can prevent global warming, but what we can deal with is the impact. And, for instance, the Adelaide City Council has spent about $20 million in the last couple of years on flood mitigation, because we get more rain, more floods, and more flooding incidents around the city, and we have to change our pipes and our infrastructure. We also have to invest in massive tree planting programs to cool the streets. And we're also involved in trying to make our houses and buildings habitable. So actually, local councils have skin in the game. Local councils have a lot of work to put infrastructure in. And one of the main opportunities that a big international convention like this adds is that the federal government gets locked in to commitments. And the commitments are not just about an energy transition. It's not just about trying to prevent climate change. It's largely about remediation and preventing the impacts of temperature change. And whether you're in the bush or in the city, we're all experiencing hotter summers, more droughts, more bushfires, more floods. And that's where council has skin in the game. We're the ones who have to deal with that infrastructure. And we need the federal government and the state government to come to the party. Otherwise, it's all the ratepayers paying.
Dr. Jane Lomax-Smith, Lord Mayor of Adelaide, thank you for joining us this morning.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
At Biourban Bathrooms and Kitchens, the swear jar takes on a whole new meaning.
That's right, the Biourban Swear Jar. It's all about their pledge to do everything possible to make your bathroom or kitchen renovation experience the best it can possibly be.
Sean is the guru of kitchens at Biourban with over 30 years' experience. Sean swears to deliver the kitchen of your dreams with minimum fuss and interruption to your home.
And Aaron and John, they're the plasterers for Biourban, and they both swear to always clean up after themselves. You'll never know that they've even been there.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Biourban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A shower or two and 24 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
An Italian restaurant at Firle has been damaged in an early morning fire. Crews were called to a block of shops housing La Tavola around 2 a.m. Hayden Nelson from 7 News says the cause is yet to be determined.
At this stage, we don't know how the fire started. There are fire investigators inside that have been going through under torchlight trying to find out what the cause of this is. Unlike other shop fires we've seen recently, it doesn't look like this one is suspicious, although they're still working that out.
Police are investigating an early morning assault at Seaford. They were called to a business on the parade just before 2:30 after reports a man had tried to force his way into the workshop. A fight occurred between the suspect and a 45-year-old man who was at the property. The suspect, a 46-year-old Aldinga Beach man, has been taken to hospital in a serious condition. The other man wasn't hurt. A gang of thieves have broken into the Louvre, stealing priceless jewellery. Jessica Millwood is in Paris.
This was a remarkable heist, the details of which read like the plot of a Hollywood movie. The Louvre had just opened when 2 masked people used a basket lift on the back of a truck to ascend to a window. The glass was cut. The thieves entered the Apollo Gallery and grabbed precious jewels. 2 more people were waiting on scooters and the gang took off. Priceless pieces of jewellery were taken from the 19th century collection of Napoleon and Empress Eugenie. A crown was found dropped and damaged nearby. Those responsible for the brazen heist now among the world's most wanted.
Anthony Albanese is en route to the United States ahead of his meeting with Donald Trump. It will be the first formal sit-down between the leaders since Mr Trump's re-election. Tariffs and critical minerals are expected to dominate discussions, along with the AUKUS agreement. Queensland Health is investigating a spate of poisonings across the southeast of the state caused by rat bait. Dusty Fitzpatrick has the story.
5 people, including a child, have presented to the Logan, Princess Alexandra and Queensland Children's Hospitals in the past week, with symptoms consistent with the consumption of brodifacoum, a commonly used rat poison. All are reportedly well after receiving treatment. While the source of the cluster is yet to be determined, authorities believe it may be linked to a fast food outlet in the Logan region.
Anthony Toop will be farewelled today. The giant of SA real estate died earlier this month, aged 68, following a second bout with cancer. His funeral service will be held at Prince Alfred College at 11 a.m. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Outlander, Pajero Sport and new Triton. T's and C's apply.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Oscar Piastri's Formula One championship lead over McLaren teammate Lando Norris has been cut to only 14 points. The Aussie finished 5th in the United States Grand Prix, won by Red Bull driver Max Verstappen. Norris came second and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was third. It was the perfect weekend for Verstappen, who took out the sprint race as well, and he says they overcame a few obstacles to get the result.
It wasn't easy to manage also the tyres on both of the stints, but we kept it in the lead, and just incredibly proud of everyone to deliver a weekend like this.
Audio there thanks to Fox. There are now 5 races left in the season. Well, Australia's cricketers have recorded an impressive 7-wicket win against India in their opening one-day clash in a rain-affected match in Perth. Chasing 132, the Aussies chased it down with 29 balls to spare. Mitch Marsh unbeaten on 46, while Josh Philippe chipped in with 37. South Australia's one-day team will be in action this morning at Karen Rolton Oval against Queensland as they look to make it back-to-back wins in that comp. And there was one game at the Women's One-Day World Cup overnight, England winning a thriller by 4 runs against India. Well, the Central Coast Mariners have won their derby against the Newcastle Jets in incredible fashion in the A-League men, winning it 3-2. Meantime, in the English Premier League, Liverpool has lost a 3rd straight game and 4th in all competitions. After going down 2-1 at home to Manchester United, Aston Villa also had a 2-1 win against Tottenham. A couple of games in the NBL and Melbourne United's made it 7 wins from 7 starts for the season after a 104 to 88 point win against the New Zealand Breakers. In yesterday's other game, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix destroyed Illawarra 116 to 76. And the Major League Baseball playoffs continue this morning our time. The Seattle Mariners hoping to book their ticket to the World Series for the first time with a win in Game 6 against the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there, got a few showers passing through. Take it easy on damp roads. Crash to look out for at Regency Park this morning, South Road near Camira Street. Got a burst water main getting fixed at St Agnes at the moment. Hancock Road near Francis Street. Got a road closed through there as well. And got cameras today. Cavan Road, Dry Creek and Whites Road, Paralawi. Drive away in the latest Mercedes-Benz Vito van from $58,500 with an additional $2,000 deposit contribution. Visit Mercedes-Benz Unley Vans today. Terms and conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now to 5AA weather.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
24 for your Monday with a shower or 2. Showers and a storm developing tomorrow, 27. Wednesday, a possible early storm showers and 19. And Thursday, 20. Right now, it's 19 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Still thinking about a sea change? Think Oakford Homes in Counter Bay. New stage released and selling fast. A variety of block sizes available in a friendly community with brand new low maintenance homes plus the beach close by. Affordable packages, no surprises. Move in now or invest for the future. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land ready to build. Don't miss out. New stage now released. Visit our display village at Encounter Bay. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
Build like a brick house. Basic Trailers make quality trailers of all sizes here in Adelaide. Made with Australian steel, you get 12 months warranty and factory direct pricing across SA. Visit basictrailers.com.au. Basic Trailers. Basically better.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 8, breaking 8 coming up in a moment. Stay listening. We haven't yet played the Royal Military Band. If you're the first to hear it, call through an 822-38855, and it could be you winning flights, accommodation and tickets to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo in Brisbane in February of next year. Already had a bit of fun this morning with a Kent Town Hotel voucher, learning from our listeners examples of occasions when they had a job that lasted about as long as Ange Postecoglou's stint as manager of Nottingham Forest, just 39 days in that most recent incident, and also getting some good theories through on the Police Home Care text line from listeners who are trying to identify the source of a rumble at about 2:30am this morning that saw enough people contact Geosciences Australia that they issued a statement saying, we've heard your messages, there was no seismic activity. So what was to blame? Lots of theories coming through on the Police Home Care text line. We'll get to some more of those shortly, but first, it's time for Breaking 8.
We reported a couple of months ago about some concerns among Indigenous South Australians, particularly Kaurna people, the Adelaide Plains people, about the proposed upgrade and redevelopment of the North Adelaide Golf Course. Well, on Friday, the Attorney-General, Deputy Premier and Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Kaya Ma, made an authorisation. He granted an authorisation under the Aboriginal Heritage Act for work to proceed at the North Adelaide Golf Course site. That is, he gave it the green light, knowing that there could be some issues that do arise that could be problematic for Indigenous people. But he's also put some pretty strict caveats on it. One is that the Par 3 area is largely going to be set aside. That's the sort of Possum Park bit where there's a statue of a possum as part of an acknowledgement of Kaurna heritage. That part is going to be largely off limits. And there's also some other caveats, about 30-odd all up, that are going to affect other aspects of the project. We have the Minister on the line now. Attorney, good morning, and thanks for joining us. Can you walk us through how this all works? Because it's a green light with a couple of orange lights thrown in.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. So we have an Aboriginal heritage legislation which protects sites and objects and remains, so protects Aboriginal heritage in South Australia. And often when there's someone doing a big development that's going to just have ground disturbance and there's a risk that it might uncover Aboriginal heritage, an application will be made to me as the Minister for Aboriginal Affairs to see how that heritage would be handled if it is uncovered. So for the North Adelaide Golf Course area, that application was made. We spent 3 months consulting with primarily Kaurna people in Adelaide, and as you explained on Friday, an authorisation was given. The Par 3 golf course, sort of people be familiar with it, from the Torrens to the road basically is what we're calling a protected area, and you can't do any major disturbance there, so just resurfacing or maintaining services is all that's allowed there. And the consultation was very clear that that is of particularly significance for Kaurna people, both before European contact, but it was the site of the first mission in Adelaide and a Kaurna language school in the 1830s. So that essentially can't be touched any more than it already has been over the rest of it. So the 2 18-hole golf courses, there are 31 conditions in place if any Aboriginal heritage is found about how that's handled respectfully, try to be avoided. First option is to rebury anything in situ in the place or as near as possible.
Attorney General, just trying to get a sense of the precedent for this kind of exemption being granted on other big projects. Was anything similarly granted for the new RA, for South Road? The Women's and Children's is happening at the moment. Have they been the recipients of these sorts of exemptions?
Yep, for every one that you've mentioned. So for all of those, there was a similar process under the Aboriginal Heritage Act, and similar sorts of things put in place. Protocols about how, if Aboriginal heritage is found, how it's handled. And I guess when you think about it, for tens of thousands of years, we've had the oldest living culture the planet's ever known, living on what we now call Adelaide and the whole of South Australia. So there's going to be evidence of human habitation wherever you look across this state.
So, Minister, I spoke to some members of The Voice and also some people who weren't members of the Voice, because there's an Adelaide Voice, a Kaurna Voice. Kaurna Yurta, from memory, is the term. Some of them had concerns about the development in its totality and were quite sort of outspoken about it. Others less outspoken, but still a bit worried. Has The Voice played any role in this? Have they had a meeting to discuss it? Have you met with them about it? And if so, is The Voice backing this in?
Yes, certainly. During the 3-month consultation, I had a meeting with there are 6 local voices around South Australia, and the one that covers, I think, it's called the Central Region, the Greater Adelaide area I met with. A formal submission was lodged. I think it's fair to say that, like with any group of people, there are a range of views about what should happen. One of the other conditions that is placed on this that certainly came up during consultation was that the developer of the golf course have to work with Kaurna to make sure that Kaurna stories, history and language is incorporated as part of the design and the build of the new golf course. So telling the Aboriginal story through a Kaurna lens to a much broader audience is part of the conditions that have been laid down here.
But did they take a final sort of position on it, the Central Voice?
As I said, even within the Central Voice and their members, there were a range of views put forward. So it's not one sort of homogenous view for...
Right. So there's no sort of official statement from the Voice or anything like that. It's not like you guys are overriding Voice advice.
As I said, there's absolutely a range of views, not just from members of the Voice, but from Aboriginal people about this, as you'd expect with any group.
Yeah, sure. Kai Ma, the Attorney General and Deputy Premier, thanks very much for joining us for Breaking It Out.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
0480 3095 is the police home care text line. Some thoughts coming through. Also 8223 0000. Sue in Christie's Beach says there was a bit of thunder overnight, to which maybe some people are she's attributing the tremor that some people think has a more suspicious kind of origin. Thank you for that, Sue.
A lot of feedback about the interview with Jane Lomax-Smith.
Yes.
As well. Overwhelmingly, people just talking about priorities, and maybe councils can sort of stick to their day jobs. 10 out of 10 for spin, one said. A few people saying, well, at least some private benefactor's paying for it. Others saying it's not the only trip that's happened. I don't know. Maybe it's funny, isn't it? Work from home, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. People seem to be able to get a hell of a lot done these days without going anywhere.
Well, I just led to believe, as we said I think it was on the show Friday, the issue for mine is that we have three tiers of government all trying to tackle this issue and all expending money and all travelling to do so. It's a total duplication. They're all trying to achieve the same thing at different levels, and it just goes to the over-government we have in this country.
I think too, it's just sort of collective. You can hide behind all sorts of things when you're in local government. I mean, look at the sister city relationships. Has anyone ever proposed a sister city relationship with, I don't know, Mogadishu or Lagos? They're all good places. What are we? Adelaide's Penang, Osaka, I think. One of the beautiful Japanese cities that's famous for its gardens. Austin in Texas, great city. Keep Austin weird. That's its slogan. Christchurch, another beautiful place. And you say, well, of course we had to go to visit the sister city because the sister city came and visited us. It'd be rude not to go. The world over, there's probably some program in Georgetown today, Penang, Georgetown, doing a piece about how one of their mayors is going to Rio. Because they're all, but you can always say, oh, it's for a noble purpose, and luckily in this case, I've got a philanthropist paying for it. Not in all the cases, and still don't know what's happening with Vonka Paringa and Mitcham. I very strongly suspect that the ratepayers, are paying for those.
I don't mind the Austin one so much because our mayor should, and everyone in Australia should probably be heading to Austin to try to get a sense of how they've got a growing population and rents that are dropping in value, and they managed to control the housing affordability issue as well as anywhere in the United States. Austin's a good study in, if you just let people do things, sometimes these things can naturally either resolve themselves or just not be as bad as they are elsewhere.
Texas itself's a good example of what small government looks like.
Totally.
It's got the lowest tax regime and it's got one of the highest levels of private sector investment.
Huge penetration of renewable energies as well. Renewable energy in a state that politically doesn't necessarily want it.
Yeah.
But it's a state that the overriding ideology is, if it makes sense for someone to make money out of this, then do it. And guess what? It does.
Plus brisket.
Everything's better with brisket. Let's check traffic. We'll come back and talk about the Beta Birdwood. Great success in Green. Great event. If you're involved, we'd love to hear from you. 8223 0000. Traffic first, though. Browse undercover and comfort for your certified pre-owned Toyota at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Summerton Park.
Morning there. Got a bit to look out for today. A crash at Elizabeth Vale, Main North Road near John Rice Avenue. Another one at Regency Park, South Road near Camera Street. St Agnes Road closed due to a boost water main. Hancock Road near Kennedy and Francis Street. Quite busy South Road at Glandorf for the tram overpass works. Cam Road, Churchill Road, Kilburn. Moving house is hard. Origin is making it a little easier by helping you move your electricity, natural gas and internet in one easy call. Origin, all kinds of useful. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Mike Wells, Adelaide 36ers coach. Good teams bounce back. You're a good team, Mike.
The 5AA Sports Show.
I think we're on the road to being a good team.
What were the takeouts or the learnings from the Kings loss?
It's just appropriate for us to handle the pressure, get our spots and get our shots.
Yeah, you had a monster first half, really set the game up.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
A new battery rebate is here, and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands, and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
Separation, parenting disputes, property division. Family law is emotional and complex, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Ben Thilthorpe from BTD Lawyers, and we're here to stand with you. With professional expertise, personal service and proven results, we'll guide you through every step with care, clarity and confidence. Book your obligation-free consultation today. Barbara Thilthorpe Daniel Lawyers, specialising in family law. Visit btdlawyers.au.
From November 1st, the Australian Government is introducing Support at Home, a new way to deliver aged care services. The program replaces current home care packages and short-term restorative care programs, making it simpler and more flexible to get the help you need.
ECH has been proudly supporting South Aussies for more than 60 years, helping people stay independent, active and connected in their own homes. This Thursday, ECH reps will be live in the studio with Leith Forest for a special 5AA interactive lounge.
They'll be explaining what these changes mean for you with trusted advice, support and care tailored to your lifestyle. The phones will also be open for your confidential questions on 8223 0055, or you can find out more at ech.asn.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 after 8, Minister Andrea Michaels after 8:30 this morning. We're going to take a closer look at the scourge of fire bombings and arsons in South Australia at the moment, their connection to the illegal tobacco trade, and the really scary story that developed over the weekend at Torrensville, where a supermarket, a shop there, was attacked during broad daylight. $500,000 damaged, people injured. If it is part of this wider trend, it is a scary new development. The Minister coming up after 8:30.
We have had written confirmation that certainly in the case of Onkaparinga Council, the Mayor is flying at the expense of ratepayers. That is through the Local Government Association, which is funded by councils through your rates. This is what the minutes say. The Local Government Association Board has approved financial support for the Mayor's flights and accommodation. We suspect that that is also the case with Mitcham too.
23 after 8, the Bay to Birdwood was run yesterday. Magnificent event, as it always is. Dane Wilden, the event director, joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Dane, how did it go? With not too many breakdowns?
Well, good morning, gents. And look, it was a fantastic day yesterday. I did part of the route from the bottom of Tea Tree Gully right up to the National Motor Museum in Birdwood. There were a couple of cars pulled over, just taking a short spell. You know, it was a little bit of a warm day yesterday,
though, isn't it, Dane? That's part of the fun.
Absolutely. You know, that is part of the fun of historic motoring. So, you know, it was a fairly warm afternoon. But look, absolutely fantastic day. We had over 105,000 spectators line the route from West Beach to Birdwood. So really a cracker of a day.
What was your car, Dane? What were you driving in?
Well, on the way down, I transported down the 1974 Datsun 260Z that belonged to former Premier Don Dunstan. So I had a fantastic... Yeah, that was fantastic. I had a fantastic trip down in the morning, very early, but then rendezvoused with colleagues and drove up in our 2024 Mitsubishi government car.
That's nowhere near as exciting, the 2024.
Nowhere near it, boys. It was... No.
Hey, Dave, there used to be this sort of observation made about, in the world of sport reporting, that every few years a column got written by someone who would observe that golf faces an uncertain future because you go to a course and everyone there is old. And then people quickly realise, well, no, golf survives because everyone ultimately gets old. Is the world of car collection and vintage car collection the kind of thing that sometimes people periodically will say, oh, I don't know, is there going to be a new generation to come through? And has your observation been that invariably that new generation always comes through with the same level of enthusiasm?
That's a really, really interesting question and a great observation. And ultimately, short answer is yes. I think there is a really solid future for the interest in classic and historic motoring. What we're seeing and what we've seen over the past 45 years of the Bay to Birdwood is that the age of vehicles participating has changed. We still do have, we had over 100 vehicles over 100 years of age participate yesterday, which was fantastic. But what we're seeing more now of is some of those later, quote-unquote, historic vehicles, so vehicles from the 1960s, the 1970s and into the 1980s that are participating. And that participation is driven by younger enthusiasts. So what we're seeing is younger enthusiasts, and I say that, you know, people under the age of 40, reminiscing about vehicles they saw in their youth, you know, in the 1980s, being in a position to purchase those vehicles now and actually enjoy them. So we're seeing this fantastic shift. So the Bay to Birdwood sold out really, really early again this year. So we're fully subscribed. I think the future ahead is bright.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing, Dane, and I always like seeing them go along Green Hill Road, but we've just got some footage up of the live stream of all of them in their final spot out on display in Birdwood. Just such an amazing array of vehicles. What a wonderful, uplifting community event it is.
It's a wonderful opportunity. I love it because I love walking around at the Finnish Festival at the National Motor Museum and seeing. We had over 10,000 attendees up here at Birdwood yesterday, and lots of people dressed in period clothing. The smiles for miles, I said to someone the other day. It was absolutely fantastic to see this great opportunity for the community to come together to celebrate not only automotive history and culture, but kind of heritage culture in general. So we had music, we had fashion, some nice food. It was just a really great way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Dane. Dane Wilden, the director of the fantastic Bay to Birdwood car rally.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre, the wearable sensor that monitors glucose levels straight to your phone. Trial it now for only $15 at freestylelibre.com.au. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions no one else asks. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
Is stress clouding your mind, making it hard to focus? Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine to the rescue. Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine is a great combination to relieve stress, calm the mind and support mental clarity, concentration and focus. And it works fast, calming the mind in just 3 hours without drowsiness. So if you're fed up with feeling stressed and unable to concentrate, try Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine today. Now available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Living on a big block in an older home that's seen better days, or maybe you've just picked up a fixer-upper on a generous slice of land, Metro Homes SA, Adelaide's custom-designed builder, has a clever solution.
They'll knock down the old place and build 2 brand new homes on the block. You sell one, move where you want, keep the other as an investment. It's downsizing and building a future, all in one smart move.
And the best part, Metro takes care of the whole lot. Design, planning, council approvals, the works. They make it easy because they've done it all before.
So if you're ready to unlock the potential in your property without the stress, go Metro. Visit metrohomesa.com.au.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. When you buy 3 Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for your next adventure. City Discount Tyres are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttyres.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tyres. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two and 24 today with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Keep in shape with physio-instructed clinical Pilates and gym classes at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
Fire has ripped through a block of shops at Firle, east of the city. Italian restaurant La Tavola on Glenburn Road has suffered major damage. Owner Christian Pancioni telling Seven it's heartbreaking.
It's not a phone call you want to be getting at 4:30 in the morning, and something that you've worked so hard to build up, and it's pretty much all just gone in a matter of a few hours.
2 loaded firearms have been found at Renown Park. Police went to a house on Torrens Road last night and searched a car at the address. A 47-year-old man has been charged with several offences, including possess unregistered firearm and possess firearm without a licence. He did not apply for bail and will face court today. The Louvre in Paris remains closed after a brazen heist. Thieves have used a cherry picker to take priceless items from the museum. Security expert Will Geddes says it's likely been planned for some time.
What they've walked away with, I would say, is a haul that is stolen to order, because disposing of these items would be incredibly difficult.
An emergency at Hong Kong International Airport. A freight plane has gone off the runway. The 747 hit a ground vehicle as it came into land before coming to a stop with its nose on the seawall. The 4 crew members on board escaped unhurt. Well, the federal government is releasing its draft legislation prohibiting price gouging by the major supermarkets. Australians will be able to have their say on the reforms following an inquiry into the grocery giants. Assistant Treasurer Andrew Lee says it's a key reform.
The new law will safeguard consumers against the risk that major supermarkets charge excessive prices, which there's a risk that they'll do given how much market power they have.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
At Agostino Mitsubishi, get $2,500 cash bonus on Eclipse Cross PHEV. T's and C's apply.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Oscar Piastri's Formula One Championship lead over McLaren teammate Lando Norris has been cut to just 14 points. The Australian finished 5th in the United States Grand Prix, which was won by Red Bull driver Max Verstappen. Norris came 2nd, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was 3rd. Meantime, the Australian MotoGP has been won by Spaniard Raul Fernandez on Phillip Island. Aussie Jack Miller failed to finish. Well, Australia has beaten India by 7 wickets in a rain-affected one-day series opener against the Indians. The Aussies reached their target of 132 with 29 balls remaining. Plenty of drama in the NBL yesterday with the Sydney Kings coach Brian Goorjian controversially ejected during his side's 94-72 point win over the Perth Wildcats.
What did I do?
Wow. No. I think he demands a bit more respect than that. He's not some under-18s coach.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
He can jump. We want emotion.
Audio there thanks to ESPN. Now, there was one other game yesterday, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix thumping Illawarra by 40 points. Aussie Matt Hauser has won the Men's World Triathlon Championship final in Wollongong.
Because with the Australian flag and in front of a bumper crowd who have waited all year for this, the first man to do it perfectly champion done.
Yeah, great effort. Germany's Lisa Turch won the women's event. And Manchester United has handed Liverpool its fourth straight defeat, the Red Devils, winning 2-1 in an EPL match at Anfield. There was one other game overnight. Aston Villa also 2-1 winners over Tottenham. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Elizabeth Vale, a crash involving two trucks in Main North Road near John Rice Avenue. Regency Park, a crash in South Road near Camira Street, while it's St Agnes Road's closed due to a burst water main. Hancock Road between Kennedy and Francis Street. Getting busy South Road, Edwardstown with a camera this morning, Whites Road, Paralawi. Do you or someone you care for need complex mental health support? SANE can help. Choose from a range of free digital and telehealth support services. Visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
A shower or two today and a top of 24. Showers and a storm developing tomorrow, 27. Wednesday, a possible early storm, showers and 19. And Thursday, 20. Right now, it's 20 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Get ready, Adelaide. The four-wheel drive and adventure show is on, and TJM is bringing the heat. Score 20% off bull bars, suspensions, snorkels, plus the entire TJM protection range. Minimum 20% off TJM camp gear, plus freebies on swags and rooftop tents. Specials on GME radios and Rhino rack, and free light bars with every Rhino platform. Mirrors, long-range tanks, HSP roll covers, and exclusive American truck deals. Only at TJM, this weekend only at the Wayville Showgrounds, Stand WA.
Our nurses and midwives are at breaking point. Every day we help South Australians through their most vulnerable moments. But right now we're being pushed to the limit with feelings of burnout, fatigue and being undervalued. Respectful wages and safe working conditions are about valuing us and also ensuring there are enough nurses and midwives to provide the care you deserve. Support those who care for you. Visit respectnursesandmidwives.com. Authorised by Elizabeth DeBars, ANMFSA, Ridleyton, South Australia.
Every new Chevrolet Silverado now comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and 5-year roadside assist. The Chevrolet Silverado. Brought to you by General Motors Specialty Vehicles. Live big. Truck it. T's and C's apply. Visit gmspecialtyvehicles.com.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 9. Stay listening. We're going to play a little soundbite very shortly that could see you winning tickets, flights and accommodation to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo in Brisbane, February of next year, the Royal Military Band. A little soundbite that we're going to play very, very shortly. Stay listening for that. One bit of sound we played after 7 o'clock this morning was an eyewitness attack to an eyewitness account, should I say, to a arson attack at Torrensville.
It's just people screaming and running everywhere. So I've just, next minute the fire is, everyone's here. Some guy's taken off in a black Lexus, rammed up some lady, this poor innocent lady trying to turn onto Henny Beach Road. He sped off. Someone did get hurt. An innocent young worker, I think, so hopefully he's well. It's horrible and it shouldn't happen, and it's sad. I just hope, everything does come to an end.
This extraordinary scene played out at the Surrey Supermarket and Butchery on Henley Beach Road, Mile End, at about 11:30 a.m. on the weekend. Several people inside the shop suffered non-life-threatening injuries. We've become accustomed to talking about fire bombings, but not those that are happening during the middle of the day. Also, this morning is a development on the federal front when it comes to tobacco-related arson. The federal government are putting together a new task force to try to crack down on the illegal tobacco trade specifically. They're going to employ the observations of the Payments Watchdog, the Agriculture Department, Services Australia too, in an aim to catch mid-level criminals.
Are they still going to charge people
trade.
$65 a pack to smoke cigarettes?
Well, here is the genesis of all this.
That's the only thing that matters.
The illicit tobacco market is now 64% of all tobacco consumed.
And the feds are going to set up a committee.
Andrea Michaels is the Minister for Consumer and Business Affairs, who have carriage of the tobacco issue here in South Australia. Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Do you feel like you're chasing your tail, Minister? This isn't a problem of the state's making. It's a federal taxation issue. You're playing whack-a-mole with these tobacconists, aren't you? Because one shuts down, There's one near me that was shut down, then it reopened. I saw it doing a roaring trade the other day, cars everywhere out the front of it. How do you really get on top of it, given the scale of it?
Look, in terms of it being a national issue, it is a national issue, but it's also an international issue. We're seeing these organised crime gangs and a surge in illicit tobacco right around Europe. We're seeing it in Southeast Asia. So it's something we need to deal with as a country. And that's hopefully what this disruption group, this new task force, will help us do, collaborating with the federal government, different agencies in the federal government, but also, other state counterparts as well, trying to get on top of this. But yes, it is a significant problem. Anyone that you know, please report it through. The more we get information, the more we can do at a state level, but it is a national problem. We have to stop this stuff coming in at the border is really the problem that we're facing.
What about the role of SAPOL? Because until they got into, arson and Molotov cocktails and so forth, it wasn't even really SAPOL's job to enforce this, was it? The sale of illegal tobacco.
What we had in South Australia and what some other states still have is it used to be SA Health as a health issue, used to take over registration of tobacco stores. We moved it into CBS as more of a regulator on July last year. SAPOL, of course, do have a very significant role to play in terms of the arson attacks, dealing with the organised crime gangs. This is all organised crime gang driven. And CBS does work very closely with Operation Eclipse, so a dedicated task force in SAPOL dealing with this issue.
We did a piece last week or the week before about a completely reputable supermarket in Victoria that got this threat saying a note was posted on their window saying that they had 2 days to ring a WhatsApp number, which was somebody offshore in the Middle East with links to one of these gangs, basically saying to this reputable business, you have to start selling illegal tobacco. And because the business didn't respond, it was vandalised. Is there any evidence of sort of standover type tactics emerging in South Australia now?
Anecdotally, that's what we're hearing in terms of, people threatening to firebomb businesses if they want to stop selling or if they aren't taking up an offer to sell. We're anecdotally hearing that. But really we need to make sure this is stopping at the border and people realise that this is organised crime gangs that are profiting from it.
Can we just go back to where this interview started with the role that the indexation of excise on tobacco played and the customs duty that increased by 5% per year for 3 years starting in the 1st of September 2023. Is it time to give legal tobacco a chance to try and compete with the illegal product and remove some of these taxes?
Look, I'm not convinced that that's the answer because I was actually at the police ministers' meeting a couple of weeks ago representing Blair Boyer because this was on the agenda. We're seeing the same issue in Europe where you can buy cigarettes for €4. We're seeing it in Southeast Asia where it's, a few dollars to buy legal cigarettes. So I'm not entirely convinced that that is the answer to this problem.
But hasn't it driven otherwise law-abiding people to do something they wouldn't consider?
Oh, look, no doubt the price difference is a factor when you're a consumer, but also bear in mind when you're a consumer, you are funding organised crime gangs. You are funding this activity. If they're not making money from it, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And they're doing it right around the world.
Yeah, well, I think I think everyone who smokes knows that, though. But they just got to the point where the taxes say, they don't care. It's reached that tipping point in a sort of freakonomics way where everyone from accountants to labourers to young people, old people, age pensioners just go, well, if they're 20% of the cost of the legal ones, I'm buying them.
Yeah, and I know as an individual that's the decisions you're making, but we can't make these decisions in isolation. We have to stop this stuff coming in at the borders. We have to take that option away from people.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Andrew Michaels, the Minister for Consumer and Business Affairs.
The Shadow Minister for Police and Correctional Services, Jack Batty's called in. Jack Batty, good morning. What do you make of the way the governments, both state and federal, have handled this?
Oh, look, I think this is completely getting out of hand now. We've seen a really dramatic escalation of the tobacco wars potentially over the weekend. It's one thing to be firebombing empty shops in the dead of the night when there's no one there, That's entirely shocking and unacceptable in itself. But it's a whole other thing when we're seeing brazen attacks now in the middle of the day on a sunny Saturday afternoon and people are getting hurt. The state government has a really important role to play here. The minister has been given extraordinary powers by the parliament. She just needs to use them. She can shut down these illegal tobacco stores. We know there's been over 1,400 complaints about illegal tobacco stores since those laws came in, but she's only shut down 78 stores, and most of them have simply reopened again a few weeks later when those short-term closure orders expire. So I want to see a lot more enforcement, and I also want to see permanent closure orders, frankly, to butt out illegal tobacco once and for all.
Do you think the tax should change? If the Libs were in federal lead, would you be saying to them, look, maybe it's time to review the level of tobacco excise?
Oh, look, I don't think it's any surprise that the only place in the world where it costs $50 to $60 to buy a legal packet of cigarettes is also the only place in the world where you've got Molotov cocktails flying around suburban streets. So I think it's time to have a look at it, frankly. But in the meantime, we've got a state government here who has quite extraordinary powers that the Parliament's given them, and they should be using those powers to shut down illegal tobacco stores before someone else gets hurt.
Jack Batty, the Shadow Minister for Police and Corrections, thanks for calling in.
John and Glenn Osmond's called in on this. Morning to you, John.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thanks, John.
I don't smoke, never have, but I listen to a lot of my friends that smoke and how much they're paying for a packet of cigarettes, and I still believe that if the government reduces the tariff, they'll stop all this illegal stuff, but they're just too money hungry.
Yeah. Well, the reality is that's a false economy because at the moment there's a multi-billion-dollar black hole in the budget because they're not getting the amount of money that they imagine they would thanks to the tobacco excise that they estimated in the budget papers. Because people are
$6 billion.
Yeah, it's $6 billion. People are sourcing their tobacco elsewhere. So at the moment,
it's like 2 women's and children's hospitals.
The irony of this tax policy at the moment is that the government have somehow managed to achieve the worst of both worlds. They're getting less money and they've created a criminal enterprise out of it. Like, you've got to be spectacularly bad at this to have stuffed it up both ways.
The thing is, it just sort of, it went up, and then it just went and totally collapsed completely. The whole model.
Well, the elastic band snapped the moment people stopped saying. But once people realise we don't have to do this.
What's the point at which you go back to buying legal ones?
Well, this is just it. And can you put the genie back in the bottle?
Because if the Fed said, all right, we're going to put, say, hypothetically, which I think Theo Ficari's point was, the guy who runs the Convenience Store Association, he said, get it back down to like $30 a pack. That's still double an illegal pack.
I think that there would be...
I think it was interesting what Andrew Michael said about Europe, like where they're, I don't know what, €5 a pack or something, €8 a pack, I don't know. But even there where they are relatively, like in like Indonesia, they're giving you cigarettes. Like they're basically free, they're so cheap. But if they're penetrating there, it shows the price point is not as significant an issue because as long as they're always cheaper, they're always more desirable.
Yeah, sure. But we've always, it's not like this is the first time we've had illegal tobacco in Australia.
No.
It has existed here. The problem is now it exists in a way that normal people are just doing it. It's been normalised as opposed to being a fringe criminal enterprise. Now it's actually the normal way to get cigarettes in Australia right now. If that Tobacco Insider's take is accurate, the 64% are now sold. In fact, the fringe activity in Australia when it comes to tobacco now is buying them legally.
That's right. Look at that weirdo going to the survey to get his cigarettes.
It's extraordinary.
I actually think in all seriousness, when you smoke, you feel deep down like you're a bit of an idiot. You're a bit of a loser, and you know that it was kind of dumb that I've ended up doing this. I think it's so ludicrously expensive now that it would almost be embarrassing to pay $65 for a pack with some stranger next to you realising how much you've just paid. Because, like, have you got rocks in your head? You just spent $65 on 20 cigarettes.
There's a bit of privacy to the whole black market component of it.
Is there ever, particularly the WhatsApp-driven one, where knowing a few waiters and waitresses in the Chinatown region, they got all their smokes home delivered through WeChat. Like the number of impenetrable business models that exist all to satiate humanity's when, you think about it, it's a pretty weird desire. Ugh, there's some leaves there that are dry. I might put them in my mouth and set them on fire.
Yeah.
You beauty. Why not? It's like anything. It's like, did you realise if you leave a pineapple in a clay pot, it turns into alcohol? Party!
The ingenuity of the human race.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's check traffic. Browse undercover and comfort for your certified pre-owned Toyota at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Summerton Park.
Morning there at Elizabeth Vale. A crash involving 2 trucks at Main North Road near John Rice Avenue. St Agnes Road's closed due to a burst water main. Hancock Road near Kennedy and Francis Street. And Cuddly Creek cars gone into a barrier there. Gorge Road near Tippett Road. Bit of fluid on the road if you're heading through that way this morning. Camrose Cully Road, Modbury North and Phillip Highway at Elizabeth. Flight Centre's Big Red Sale is on now. Fly London and return from $1,312 per person. Get 50% off tours and more. Call 133 133 today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Piper, and I've just landed my first job as a registered nurse at the Women's and Children's Hospital. There's been a massive recruitment drive across our health system with jobs for doctors, nurses, midwives, paramedics, mental health and allied health workers. It's all part of building a bigger health system. To learn more and apply, visit biggerhealthsystem.sa.gov.au.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
Some milk on our shelves travels further than you do on holiday. Not milk from FIVEAA Milk Company. Our milk is proudly homegrown, home bottled and delivered straight from the rolling paddocks of South Australia's FIVEAA Peninsula. Freshness isn't a buzzword for us. We live and breathe it 24 hours a day. When you buy from FIVEAA Milk Company, you're supporting our incredible farming families and doing SA proud. Look for FIVEAA Milk Company in your supermarket.
Explore Europe your way with Backroads and Phil Hoffman Travel. For almost 4 decades, Backroads has been crafting award-winning small group tours across the UK and Europe, connecting guests with the heart and soul of every destination. Discover Portugal's charm from Lisbon to the Douro Valley, or experience the beauty of Scotland from Edinburgh return, with signature moments and inclusions along the way. Book now and save up to $250 per person. Visit pht.com.au.
If you ever wondered how to make water look more beautiful, go to puritab.com.au. You have to see it to believe it. Take a look at the range of European-style mixer taps and separate taps. You want to reach into the screen and turn them on yourself. Pure Puritap. Head to our website now and check out the amazing prices. Check out the amazing pics too. Pure Puritap. Puritap.com.au.
Fuel costs, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motorpass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork. Just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motorpass. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm home!
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home. And for seniors, it's always been great value with 20% discount on selected bistro meals. Yep, 20% off. Feeding the whole family? Bring them all Saturday or Sunday for live acoustic music from 5 p.m. And kids eat free. Some conditions apply. The Excelsior Hotel feels like home, but better. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
That's a great line from The Departed.
Get me a tuber and I'll get you something out of it.
Yeah, well, there's many great lines.
Yeah. And let's have a look at the fuel situation. Better to be a member with RAA Road Service. The cheap spots this morning.
No ticky, no laundry.
The Mobile Torrensville, $1.54.5. The United Adelaide Airport, $1.56.9. The cheapest diesel is at Silver's Auto Centre in the city at $1.74.9.
One guy brings the items.
The other guy brings the laundry.
That's right.
Now,
what a movie.
What a movie. A little bit earlier this morning, we spoke to Hayden Nelson about a fire at FIVEAA.
This is shocking.
We're going to cross now to the scene. Co-owner of La Tavola, the restaurant at FIVEAA, is Daniel Passato. Daniel, good morning to you. So you got there
Good morning.
very early this morning. Was the fire still going?
No, the fire was out by the time I got here. I got here about 4:30.
So this is 4:30 this morning, Daniel.
Yeah.
And when we discussed this story before, it sounds like no suspicious circumstances. Is that still the case?
No, I don't think so. The police and stuff didn't really tell us much, but no, they said it was unsuspicious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And how much damage has it caused, mate?
a fair bit inside. Like the ceiling's all damaged. A lot of smoke damage.
And does it stink?
Yeah. Yeah, heaps.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
And how long do you think it's going to take you to sort of get back on your feet and get the restaurant up and running again?
Hard to say, but it could be, it could be 2 months, could be 6 months. I'm not sure.
Oh, crikey!
Just by looking at it, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it'd be a while. I think.
Yeah. Oh, mate, we've had people texting in raving about your restaurant. It's clearly got a big following. How long have you been there doing it?
Not even a year yet, which is
Oh God, what a setback!
Which is a bit annoying. Yeah, it's not great, but we've been pretty busy since we opened, so it's quite good.
Yeah. Well, mate, all the best. Working out where to from here. And have you got insurance? Will that protect you? Do you think?
Yeah, we do have insurance.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, well, that does make it a lot easier for us.
Yeah. You might have to set up a food truck for a while or something like that.
Might have to do a mobile pizza trade or something.
Yeah. Well, mate, seriously, hang on to our numbers, and when you have got the business up and running again, let us know, and we'll give you some publicity on air to tell people, around FIVEAA and that neck of the woods that you're back in business.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, mate. Good on you, Daniel. Daniel Bassato, the co-owner of La Tavola in FIVEAA.
All right, let's head to Manningham. Teresa's called in. Morning, Teresa.
Good morning, guys. How you going?
Good, thanks, Teresa.
I was just talking about the cigarettes. I'm a smoker. Now, I pay $140 for 10 packets of cigarettes. Now, that saves me sort of like $250 a week if I was to buy normal cigarettes. Now, if the government reduced the taxes, maybe people will start buying them again.
Yeah. How long have you been buying illegals for, Teresa?
Oh, probably about 2 years now.
Yeah. And did you find out about the location of your spot just by word of mouth from mates?
Yeah, just a lot of them being shut down, but people sort of like say, "Oh, this shop's open, go there or go here." Just word of mouth. Like we do find them, so.
Yeah.
Well, clearly people are having trouble finding them.
Has yours ever had an electrical fault?
Yeah.
Good on you, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa from Manningham. Cut her off before she incriminates herself any further. Thank you, Teresa. I do like this text from Andrew who makes the observation that the good news about the illegal tobacco trade is it makes paying for fuel quicker. That's a good point, Andrew. There's not as many people waiting for the cigarette cabinet to be opened at either the shopping centres or the petrol station. Exactly
Plain
right.
packaging and all the names have changed yet again. You can stand there for hours trying to find you a brand of choice.
Congratulations to Helen, who's who's officially in the running to win flights, accommodation and tickets to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. Brisbane next year was the first person to call in having heard the Royal Military Band, all thanks to Spark Travel. Plan your next getaway with the experts at Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a friendly conversation. That's all from us this morning. Stick around, Graham Gooding's next. We'll catch you tomorrow morning from 6.
Coming up next on 5AA, the stories that matter